evil mother-in-law convinced my fiance to leave me, then she made it worse. You know, we've seen many tall tales of evil mother-in-laws on this podcast. There are no shortage of them, I can assure you. And today, I needed to be reinforced by our incredible producer, Big Riley. Big Protein.
Hello, hello, hello.
Riley, are you ready to dive into the depths of evil mother-in-laws?
Let's get into this wacky story.
Let's do it. I could finally air my uncensored frustration about the night my engagement was single-handedly corrupted by my entitled mother-in-law. So my girlfriend and I were really engaged to be engaged. I would hope so. We both agreed and we wanted to get married, but I hadn't done the formal proposal yet because we wanted to meet each other's families first. Neither lived nearby. I always thought the old trope about meeting the in-laws being a big fiasco was a myth. My man clearly hasn't watched OKOP. Both because I was younger and more naive then, and because I'm lucky to have easy parents. My girlfriend met them for a few hours. Once we were alone, just me and them, I told them my intentions, and my mom asked, does she have kids already? And my dad asked, does she have a good solid job? And they both asked, do you really love her? And that was that. I had their full support for the marriage. Damn, is that support? Is he being sarcastic?
3 questions. All you need for their support is these 3 questions.
I thought meeting her parents would be the same. Some grilling was to be expected, but as long as I was honest and respectful, it would all be fine. Relevant fact, they had my girlfriend when they were teenagers. By surprise, so now they have a do-over daughter. Ooh. Their words, not mine, who is just 6 years old. Yikes.
They said that.
My girlfriend and I made the trip to the city and I met them for the first time over dinner at a steakhouse. It was pretty upscale and we had scheduled the dinner for 8 p.m. So I was surprised to see that they had brought the kid along with them. I met everyone at once and the initial awkwardness settled down once we had sat down. We were making great small talk when the 6-year-old said she was thirsty. No big deal. When all of a sudden, mother-in-law starts screaming, water, 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 water! A waiter came rushing to see what the commotion was, and without even making eye contact with the poor guy, mother-in-law went, we've been waiting here forever, and no one's even gotten us any water. My daughter's been asking. We had been sitting for about 15 or 20 minutes without service, which that's a long time. Without any water.
You can handle that so much better though. Like,
that's true. It's true. You can handle it so much better, but that's pretty bad. But they were visibly behind, and there were no circumstances that would have warranted that shouting. Yeah, there's never a reason to shout, unless they're attacking you.
Unless, like, the daughter's a fish and they need water to survive.
Yeah. I should have realized from how unfazed everyone else was at the table that I should be bracing myself for a long night. But I couldn't imagine what was to come at that point. The waiter rushed over with the water and apologized for the delay, explaining a few very large parties had all arrived at once. The guy seemed sincere and quite affable, so I thought the water would just be an anomaly in an otherwise pleasant night. But then mother-in-law kicked into full gear. We'll need a kids menu, she informed the waiter. He said that they didn't have a kids menu, but the chef could simplify most dishes. What do you mean you don't have a kids menu? Ellen replied in total disbelief, as though he'd said they didn't have a fire exit. He explained they didn't get too many child visitors and there were plain enough foods on the menu that no separate menu ever be necessary. Mother-in-law sighed dramatically and waved him away. Literally without saying a word, waved him from the table.
Okay, so this is a really nice restaurant.
Oh yeah, like Ruth's Chris or something like that. I tried to give him an apologetic glance, but understandably, he didn't look back our way. I was so glad the poor guy left and didn't have to be subjected to her anymore. Meanwhile, she turned her attention on me, and I almost wished he'd come back. At least he was getting paid to be here. Oh man, this is not setting it up well. She was like, so you're a screenwriter? And I explained, well, yes and no. I want to be, but it's hard to get a job in that field that you can support yourself on. So I'm working at a nonprofit right now. There is a screenwriting component on the job though. So I'm really happy there.
So like his job's in the creative field.
Work at a bank and make $1 million. Like, what are you doing? Having dreams? Disgusting. My daughter needs money. Ellen turned to her 6-year-old and went, hear that, hun? You want to make sure to snag a man who works for profit. Learn from this. It's not too late for you.
No.
What?
To the 6-year-old, teaching him young. Teaching him young.
Dude, teach him young.
The do-over daughter.
I couldn't tell if she was trying to be funny or not, so I just let it pass, looking over to my girlfriend to see if she was even considering speaking up on my behalf. Nope. The waiter came back, visibly nervous. That hurt because he was so relaxed and personable at the start of the meal. He asked if we'd like to hear the specials before we ordered, and Entitled Mother said, sure. Here's how that went. Waiter, first we have a lightly seared strip steak. Entitled Mother, next. Waiter, okay. And then we have a broiled leg of grass-fed. Next. We have a pasta prime Vera mixed with next, and on until he'd gone through all 7 or 10 specials, even though she ultimately ordered off the menu a plain ribeye well done. God. She tried to order her daughter the same, but the kid said she wanted plain mashed potatoes. So mother-in-law let her get mashed potatoes alone for dinner. Then she sent the waiter away. The rest of us hadn't even ordered yet, and everyone else just sat there like it was entirely normal. I waited for someone to say something, thinking it was more her older daughter, my girlfriend's place, or her husband's. But when no one did, I couldn't help myself. Was that one steak and potatoes gonna be for all of us? Or my girlfriend explained in the tone that you'd use for a tourist violating a sacred local taboo. My mom always has to put the kids' food in first, so we can get started right away. We'll order once the kitchen has hers. That is so dumb. What the heck?
Mama gotta eat.
I thought she was joking. Since mother-in-law didn't just order her kids' food, she also ordered her own dinner too. So I laughed. Something funny? Mother-in-law asked. Then I realized she was serious and I shut up. Thankfully, her dad at least recognized what was normal for them might not be regular to me and tried to lighten the mood with a change of topic. But even 10 minutes after we ordered, I guess technically 5 minutes after we'd ordered, 10 minutes after she and her daughter had gotten food, mother-in-law started again. Another table that had been there long before we were got a side of mashed potatoes with their meal. Oh no. Oh no, I know exactly, but I see you in the comments if you know what's about to go down. Mother-in-law threw a total fit of rage. She was sputtering so inaudibly that none of us could figure out what was wrong at first. Finally, she managed to flag down some busboy who barely spoke English and began laying into him like he just swiped her on the freeway. He kept trying to explain he wasn't a server and he could get one, but she wouldn't stop to breathe long enough for him to find someone who could actually help. Wow. All the while, I kept looking at my girlfriend for signs of embarrassment, or at the very least, irritation. But you wouldn't have known if she was even hearing any of this. Our waiter came over, somehow still feigning a smile despite knowing what he was walking into. And mother-in-law actually goes, why did that table get mashed potatoes and ours hasn't come yet? Go to that table, take the mashed potatoes out of their mouths, out of their throats, out of their stomachs, and feed it to my daughter like a baby bird. The waiter kindly and concisely explained, well, ma'am, those people ordered potatoes before your party had placed their order. Mother-in-law looks this man dead in the eye, finally, and says, well, it doesn't matter when they ordered it. My daughter is the youngest one here. Her food should come first. You could tell the waiter was working hard to restrain himself at this point. He explained it was a first come, first serve policy, and age didn't help one way or the other. He offered to go check on the potatoes. Mother-in-law agreed, or more specifically, she said, yeah, you better. But I was clocking him and he went right back to his server station because we had only just ordered a few minutes ago. 3 or 5 minutes passed, during which we could have no other discussion at the table except for how awful this restaurant was, how hungry the poor baby was, who hadn't said a word about being hungry this whole time and was contently playing her loud iPad game without headphones, disturbing all the diners around us. I would hate that so much. That would drive me insane. And how America has lost all respect for motherhood because it's just a me culture now.
Wow, she really looked in a mirror on that one.
Right? I chimed in. I'm with you on that last part. And to my utter shock, instead of laughing at my joke, my girlfriend seemed annoyed with me. So after a few minutes, the waiter comes back and says the potatoes will be out very soon. Mother-in-law then goes and does something again I thought was just a myth. She took 3 singles and a 5 out of her wallet and put them on the table in full view of the waiter. Then she took 1 single away and said, every table I see getting potatoes before us is a bill gone.
Oh no.
So her tip for a dinner of 5 at a upscale steakhouse is $8. At that point, I'm like, I would bring potatoes to every single seat, every single table around theirs. I'd be like, oh, sorry, we're just like totally backed up right now. We just can't get these potatoes out. It's so crazy. I was absolutely mortified. The waiter, to his unending credit, just took a deep breath and said, I don't have control over the order in which the kitchen fires tickets, but I can tell you it should be out at any minute. And left without saying anything disparaging. I had been holding my tongue all night as well, in the name of my relationship. But once the tip hit the table, the $8 tip for a 100 plus bill on top of everything else, I figured if my girlfriend was half the woman I thought she was, then she wouldn't care if I spoke my mind at this point. If anything, she'd be supportive, right? Right, Riley?
You would think.
So I scooted my chair back a bit and said, listen, I know what you're doing with the cash on the table, but that kind of thing makes me really uncomfortable and it's just not called for. Please put the money away or we can just continue this some other time.
He spoke.
He spoke. My girlfriend's dad spits back. What? How cheap do you have to be to not believe in tipping the service workers? Before I could process he was serious or yanking my chain, mother-in-law shocked with me, no. You know what? You're right. This isn't necessary. I should have known better than to be relieved. She folded the bills back into her wallet, patiently waited for the next plate of mashed potatoes to be carried out. And when it wasn't delivered to us, it was a very common side dish at this place, a steakhouse. She went right up to the stranger's table and picked it up off the table.
What?
I knew that was honestly, I thought that's what she was going to do the first time.
No words.
She half explained something about her daughter starving to death as she was walking away with the stranger's food. But unsurprisingly, that wasn't convincing enough for them. The old lady she took it from followed her right to our table and tried to get it back. Bro, this mother-in-law and this old lady are about to just get in a fold-out bra. Go to my tater, sonny.
Just throwing haymakers left and right.
Yeah. I was already searching for my coat tag in preparation to go, but a shoving match was beginning to unfold between mother-in-law and an elderly woman with a tennis ball walker. Bro. That is so crazy.
Tennis ball walker.
God.
How'd they let her in there?
Bro
has a coat tag and they let a grandma with the tennis ball walker in?
Granny is really about that action, dude. I really want to have that energy when I'm old. And far be it from me to sit through all that had happened only to leave just right as the night was getting interesting. The elderly woman was like, give me back my potatoes. Who are you? And the poor little girl was like, Mommy, it's okay. Don't take someone else's potatoes. When your 6-year-old is telling you how to behave, there is something drastically wrong. Drastically wrong. But it all fell on deaf ears. Mother-in-law yelled at the old lady, how could you sit there and eat these when my daughter hadn't even been served yet? She's sitting here, hungry, just a little girl, and you're over there stuffing your face. Come on, other potatoes will be ready any minute. And the old lady, got to love her, was like, great, if they'll be out any minute, then what's the effing problem? That is, wow, dude. This old lady is my bro. Can you put Granny as my hero in the comments right now? Like, to which mother-in-law still found holier than thou ground, gasping, language, please. Finally, the waiter, and this time someone higher up as well, I think the manager, thank God, came over to separate them as they had begun to raise their voices and cause a disturbance. The staff had already asked mother-in-law to turn her daughter's iPad down multiple times without heed. And I'm guessing the waiter informed management about the tip on the table stunt that she pulled because this was their final straw. They told us we were going to have to leave the restaurant. You know what would have been really funny? Well, not funny, but terrible is if they like caused all that commotion and then at the end of the dinner, if they had like made it all the way, the entitled mother was like, I didn't like my steak. We're not paying.
Oh, dude.
I didn't like the food. But we haven't even gotten our food yet, mother-in-law complained at the guy. This was clearly not the manager's first rodeo. You could take the food that's already been served free of charge. Everything else will be canceled. Please leave immediately. Ooh. The old lady didn't miss her chance to knock the potatoes right onto the floor, so we couldn't try to take them with us. She She's my hero. Nothing else had been served yet, so we had to leave without any food. When my girlfriend and I were finally alone in our car, she said, "Can you believe that?" And I said, "Not at all. And I really can't believe you didn't warn me." And she went, "How could I have known about any of that?" And confused, I was like, "Is she not usually like that?" Even more confused than me, my girlfriend goes, "Who?" Your mom. What's my mom got to do with the terrible service at that place?
No.
She's her mother's daughter. That was the beginning of the end of our relationship. The fact that she didn't see anything wrong with her mom's behavior and that I'd be marrying into that situation shook me deep. We both dodged a bullet in more ways than one. In hindsight, we weren't right for each other, regardless of who her family was. Her mom saved both of us a lot of time and headache, helping me realize in one night what would have possibly taken us years otherwise. Within a month, we'd moved into separate apartments and gone on a break that ended up lasting forever. I'm not sorry I won't see you again, mother-in-law. I am sorry any waitstaff ever will, though.
Oh my gosh.
That's tough.
That is so tough.
I guess the question is, he has known this woman, for some period of time. They're engaged, okay? So let's assume at least a year. All that time, do you not give her another chance? That's the question. Do you not give her the chance to see if she's not the mother-in-law?
It was the last comment she made for me. That was the straw.
That was the final nail in the coffin.
Because what I look at is whenever I see like a potential mate's parents is like their parents are basically envisioning what they want themselves to be. What, like me, if I was a dad, I want my son to be like me, but better.
Yeah.
And then if their parents are looking like that, like that's the bar. That's the bar she's had her whole life. Like I honestly, if that's how if she would have said like, "I'm so sorry," or like try to apologize, that would maybe give me like some like, okay, maybe we can work something out. But if there was like she was basically agreeing with the mother, dude, I really do not think there's another chance. There is no way that's another chance. What do you think? Could there be another chance?
I think OP probably just missed a lot of red flags earlier in the relationship. I think that's what it is. But who knows best? Our beautiful audience, guys, comment down below. What do you think? Should OP have given her another chance after that night, after the true colors were revealed? But Riley, I think we got another story for the beautiful people.
Please give it to me.
Evil mother got me fired because I'm too fat. Then she gives the job to her daughter. Wow. I thought we just had an evil mom, but maybe we have someone coming for the throne. This is the Game of Thrones of evil mom.
We got potato stealing mother and then fat shaming evil mother. So,
dude, who's going to win?
I got my money on the potato mom.
All right, well, let's see if we got one crazier. I'm female and home from college. The stay-at-home order in my town is slowly being lifted, so some businesses are finally opening up. My parents require me to have a summer job. I'm blessed enough that I get to keep all the money I earn. My parents just like me to work to gain experience. This will be relevant later, but I am not a skinny girl. I wouldn't consider myself large either. I'm 5'6" and weigh about 140 to 145 pounds right now and carry most of it in my hips and thighs. The freshman 15 did hit me hard though, as I used to be around 120 pounds. So today, after finishing my last online final, my dad called me. He told me that one of his friends who runs a company texted him that they were looking for girls to work in the office, answering phones and stuff. Damn. Girls? Like, Loki sexist. What the hell? I got excited because that's exactly what I wanted. So I put on a dress, printed a copy of my resume, and I wrote down. The ladies inside were super nice and asked me to fill out an application. So I sat down to do so. This is where entitled mom enters. We're in the South, which might be relevant because typically for jobs like this, they're looking for a pretty face to sit behind the counter and talk to customers.
Dude, that's so true. That's so true around here.
This is unspoken though. Yes, it's awful, but hey, I needed a job. So as I'm filling out an application, entitled mom enters with entitled kid. She announces that she's here about the opening and her daughter would like to apply. Desk lady 1 explains that she'll need to fill out an application and hands her one and a pen. They come sit in the lobby right beside me, which I thought was weird, but I didn't say anything. Entitled mom to me, "Are you here for this job as well?" Yes, ma'am. You know, that little cocky sound that people make? That one. I ignored her and went up to ask Desk Lady 1 a question about the application. It was about how professional one of my references for babysitting was. When I returned and sat back down, Entitled Mom walked up to the desk. Entitled Mom: does my daughter really need to fill this out? Desk Lady 1: it's protocol. The boss will look at all the applications and decide who to call to interview. Is he here? I'm sure if he could see my daughter, he'd know who he wanted to call. Ha ha! Gotta love the laugh after that. Desk Lady 1: he is, but isn't seeing visitors right now. How will he know who to hire if he doesn't know what the girls look like? Well, he will need to see their references and make a few calls before No, my daughter is an aspiring model. She won the local pageant in 2019. He needs to see her to know she's the face he wants to see behind the counter interacting with customers.
Beauty over brains.
Right, bro. Well, hey, this mom might be butt ugly. We don't know. The daughter's the one that's winning the pageants. Desk Lady 1: I'm not sure what you mean. This isn't a modeling job. Looks really don't matter. Oh, I know, but they do. And let's face it, the boss isn't gonna want, at this point, she leans closer to the desk lady, a chubby girl up here, is she?
No, right in front of her face. I mean, at least, well, she didn't do it in front of
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. The old time, the entitled girl is smirking at me in glances as she fills out her application. This caught the attention of Desk Lady 2, and we both looked up at this point. Desk Lady 2: ma'am, I'm not sure I know what you mean. Entitled Mom: oh, no disrespect. I know boss personally and know he'd prefer a new pretty face around the office. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I think there's no question between my daughter and, well, this young lady, for example, pointing at me. No offense, honey, just trying to save you some time. Wow.
What?
I don't know if it was the rage or the sting of her insults, but either way, I was not going to let her see me cry, so I quickly got up and handed my application to Desk Lady 1, trying to leave. Desk Lady 2, who's also a plus-size woman: sweetie, wait, you say you know boss personally, right? Talking to Entitled Mother: oh yes, we went to high school together. And you know him so well that you know he'd prefer a skinny woman behind this desk. Entitled Mother: well, I didn't say that. She did, but I'd assume so. Desk Lady 2: great. Well, I'm his wife, and I've worked behind this desk for almost 15 years now. And as you can see, I could probably drop a few. And I take personal offense to what you're saying about my husband and this young lady. So I'd like you to wait in the car while your daughter fills out her application.
Yo.
Got her. Entitled Mom and Entitled Girl both stormed out at this point. Entitled Girl took her application, so I don't know if she'll apply or not. But both women behind the counter told me that Entitled Mother was a B and they'd vouch for me with the boss. So I'm hopeful that I got the job. And there are some quick updates here. But Riley, what do we think is going to happen?
Dude, another bullet dodged. I mean, if the mom's acting like that, the daughter's going to be like that. Monkey see, monkey do. Simple as that.
That's just what's going to happen. And just like, God, it's so sad that maybe the girl in the last story, she was just young enough to like understand at the most basic human level, like, oh, don't steal mashed potatoes from this grandma. Like it's okay. I'm not hungry. But then after like 16 years of conditioning, in this story, she's gone.
Yeah.
She's got her under her entitled Karen talons.
There's no saving her.
All right, let's get into these updates. Oh my goodness, you guys are so kind. Thank you everyone for the awards and the compliments. I am so overwhelmed. You've all made my little heart so happy. A lot of you want to know if I got the job. Today I went in for an interview and I just got home from that. It went well and I'm hoping for a call soon and I'll update you when I know. Update number 2. Hey guys, so I haven't gotten a call or anything. I'm starting to think maybe they wanted someone long-term and not just someone from the summer. Sorry to disappoint y'all, but if they do call me, I'll be sure to update. I was so sure we were going to get the happy ending we wanted.
That's tough.
What a cliffhanger to leave off on. That's so tough. But all in all, I mean, you just got to love karma. You know what I mean? It's such a sweet and beautiful force. Mama Karma rolled in here and smacked entitled mom and her kid right in the face with a dose of reality. Shout out to the desk lady number 2 who was here to defend. Low key, desk lady number 1 look a little sus. My question is, what would you do in this scenario of someone literally publicly insulting you just so blatantly, obviously? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do in that scenario? I think you got to go like tennis ball granny and just like throw your freaking your gnarled hands. You know what I'm saying? Your arthritis riddled fist. Just scrap, bro. Just absolutely throw down. I think that's my answer.
If someone came up to me and was like, "You're not pretty enough for the job," first off, I'm gonna laugh. I was gonna be like, "Ha ha ha," and then like I'd probably like get after him, be like, "What do you mean by that? What do you mean I'm not pretty enough for this?" And then just like really like dig into it and then make them cry, because if someone tries to make me awkward, I awkward shift it onto them. And then they feel awkward, and that's on them. Like, me can't rattle me, you know?
Hey Riley, I do have to tell you something.
Uh-oh.
You're too pretty for this job.
Too pretty for this job?
Because you're too damn beautiful.
Oh.
Got him. But you know what else we got, Riley?
What do you got?
Another story. Karen parents are forcing me to abandon my boyfriend of 6 years. It's not my boyfriend I'll abandon.
So who's she gonna abandon then?
Everyone else in her life. She's gonna run away and only have her boyfriend with her. Her veterinarian, her doctor, her dentist. Everybody's getting abandoned except for the boyfriend.
Wow, he's gonna have to juggle a lot of hats if that's the case.
I'll try to make a long story short. I am an only child, and my current boyfriend and I have been dating for 6 years, starting when I was 19 and when he was 20. We met at a junior college where we started dating, and after that, we went to different UCs, but within an hour of each other. Interesting. So they went to different universities of California, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Which is where your boy went for 1 quarter. My parents met him early on by joining us at dinner. Everything seemed to go well. Then, soon after, we went to his parents' house, who live about 2 hours from my parents, so I could meet his family. And after learning this, my mom told me how hurt she was that we didn't come back to see them too, after they had met together the first time. I expressed that this weekend was just for me to meet his family, but it was clear that she felt almost betrayed by me. You got your visit, Mom.
Yeah.
Fast forward. My parents invite me to our cabin and my boyfriend joins. We take my car because it was already loaded with laundry, etc. And after we arrive, my dad pulls me aside and pretty much quietly yells at me how wrong it is that I drove and that we took my car. He's the man. He should be driving. Blah, 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 blah.
What?
Your own, bro, it's one thing to be a freaking sexist hole, but to your own daughter?
Like, come on.
This started everything going forward on a sour note. The cabin is in Tahoe. It gets cold in the winter. So my boyfriend wore a sweatshirt with his hood up during some of the time at the cabin. My parents to this day cite this as weird and rude, as well as a reason that they don't like him.
Was he being weird in the sweatshirt too? Or was he just like vibing like...
Was he like trying to like rob them, just like scoping out the place, but like on the inside, like this is an inside job. I gotta have the hood up just in case I decide to turn around and freaking rob these fools.
Or was he like levitating on the floor, like his feet weren't touching the ground? Like, what was he doing?
Is he a Dementor? Like, is he trying to suck their souls out of their bodies? What's going on here? As we continue our relationship, it's clear that my parents don't like him, but they can't really give what I would call good or justifiable reasons. They'll say he's just not a good fit for the family. They don't tell me to stop dating him because they can't. I'm an adult. But they do tell me that I need to keep them and him separate. They don't want to really hear about him, and he's not welcome at their house or cabin. He's never cheated on me, abused me, he has no drug problems, etc., etc. Nothing that a normal parent would cite as a problem. Eventually, it became an ultimatum given to me by my parents. They'd tell me that if you continue to date him, eventually it will be him or us, and you will have to choose.
Yikes.
Dude.
It's usually the boyfriend that does that, not the parents.
Right?
I just want to know, like, what did he do wrong? Like, did he, like, not close the cabinet door or, like...
Riley, He wore a hoodie.
I forgot.
How could you possibly imagine the horror? I mean, they turn around and instead of seeing, a human's kind face greeting them, they are blocked by a wall of cloth. Disgusting.
I guess I can't relate.
Unforgivable behavior. Among other things, they would tell me that he'd never be an attorney, which is what he wanted to do. He's a lawyer? Parents are fumbling the bag. And they insinuated that he probably wouldn't be much of anything at all. That is like the most like stereotypical like path to success on planet Earth. That is the most tried and it's like doctor, engineer, lawyer. Like those are the three. After undergrad, I started working at a financial firm. He graduated from an undergrad at UC Berkeley and was accepted to law school across the country. Okay, this guy is going places.
It's making it happen.
We were always very serious about each other and made the decision to do the long distance until he graduated and moved back to California. My boyfriend has since graduated from law school, moved home, and took the bar last month. He starts work this October and had a contract since last year. They have known about this as well. He's taking all the steps and making those moves. Now, 6 years into our relationship, I call my parents and tell them that we are going to be moving in together. About 20 minutes later, I got a text from my mom saying that she didn't want to rain on my parade, but that this path excludes her and my dad from my future. That they love me, but they can't be in my life if I choose to be with my boyfriend.
Sorry.
He wore a hoodie.
Sorry, I can't just look at you with this lawyer and your beautiful family, being financially supported very well. I just can't look at it. I can't deal with it.
You know what? You're too focused on money. You need to stop being so greedy. Okay. I told them that I would never understand. Since then, they have sent me more and more text messages saying stuff like, "We feel like we're losing our daughter. This is heartbreaking," etc. And all at the same time, including this, that it's my choice and my fault. I texted my parents that I thought my boyfriend and I should come over and talk. That texting about this kind of thing is stupid, but not to be patronized or belittled, and if it turned into screaming, then we would leave. My parents then replied that they wanted to see me face to face to talk, but that my boyfriend isn't allowed. We're gonna zip him out of our life the same way he zipped us out of his. My boyfriend even called my father the night of the initial "we can't be in your life" text to try to talk or meet up and see if there was a way to talk through any legitimate concerns. My dad did not answer and respond until a week plus later, only to text him that they never really ever liked him and that he wants to work through it with me alone, and it's mine and my boyfriend's fault for not trying to address things earlier. What? You could have taken off the hoodie. Years ago. Among other ridiculous reasons to not like my boyfriend were Berkeley isn't a man's college from my dad. One time in college, my professor lost my final exam, and when I found out via my final grades and was frantically calling her to figure out what had happened, my parents told my boyfriend, "See, this is why we didn't want her to have a boyfriend in college." They found ways to blame him for everything. Why did you force her professor to not send her her grades on time? The only thing that ever had any merit was that he wasn't working yet. Well, this was because he was going to school to become a lawyer. A perfectly reasonable excuse. Apparently, marrying someone who makes a lot of money is a bad thing? ? My boyfriend is the nicest, most calm, and peaceful person ever, and he loves me more than anything. But apparently their pride is more important than being wrong and just accepting him. I guess I'm just trying to figure out if this is normal or if it's as wrong as it feels to my boyfriend and I. Boyfriend, as well as my parents and myself, are of the same race, somewhat of the same financial status as well. No important details were left out, I promise, and I wanted to give objective feedback. Please believe me, if there was more, my parents would make it known to me and I would have included it in this post. Riley, we have a big, fat update that we are staring down the barrel of.
There's more.
We have to stop. We have to take a pit stop right here. What's going on?
Dude, I hate to be this way, but this is pretty real for me. My ex relationship their parents didn't like me, and this had a lot of like the same kind of thing was going on, and just like all these expectations. I was like 20, maybe 19. And like I was just going through school, like I didn't know what I wanted to do really, and I was like figuring it out. But dude, R.I.P. to this bro. Like,
jokes on their parents, because you just became the producer of the hottest new podcast in the game. Maybe they're afraid that the boyfriend is going to come between them. I could see if he was like abusing substances. That is a whole infinite galaxy away from where we are right now.
Yeah.
From a soon-to-be lawyer, sweet, nice man. The math ain't mathin'.
it's really not mathin'.
But there's one thing that we can add to this equation, Riley.
Oh, you got something for me?
The update.
Ooh, give it to me.
After many hurtful texts from my parents that said that they can't accept my partner and that it doesn't really matter if it's a good fit for me, if he's not a good fit for my family, then it's never going to work, I went over in person to meet with them and pick up my legal documents. They made it clear that my boyfriend was not welcome and that this was a family matter. They needed to speak with only me about it. Clear manipulation, obviously. So I went alone. I'm on my way, and I know what I think and how I feel. I'm very sure of what I plan on saying. Thanks to Reddit, I have additional confirmation that I'm not crazy or a wrong or bad person here, but they are in fact in the wrong. Yes! It was strange. Walking into your parents' house and feeling like you're meeting strangers kind of felt like having a 26-year-long relationship and being broken up with via text. Then having to go pick up your crap and memories from your ex's house, except that ex is your parents.
Oh.
It's over. It's over, Riley.
What?
They are done.
That's like all you've ever known, just like gone, you know?
Imagine breaking up with your own parents. After about an hour of small talk, we got into the nitty-gritty convo about the elephant in the room. A previous text that week had said, "We don't expect to change your mind, we just wanted to talk." But it's clear that this in-person meeting was a last-ditch attempt to shake me from my reality and into theirs. They came at me from every angle. "He's not a man's man," Dad said. "I don't respect him. I hate him. He's taking me away from the most precious thing in our life. How could you not hate someone like that?
It's not a lumberjack.
A real man would wear a tank top in the icy tundra of Tahoe, not a jacket like a little..." Even at some points, my dad was physically threatening him. My mom was either agreeing or adding little tidbits and reminders of things that she doesn't like about him. Some of which are things I mentioned in my previous posts about when I want to meet his family and didn't see her and my dad too. Mentioning also that she doesn't like that I made the first move to talk to my boyfriend and not the other way around. It was an all-out war on my boyfriend. They tell me I'm depriving them of a son-in-law. They say he is selfish for not breaking up with me years ago when he realized that my parents didn't like him. How are they depriving him of a son-in-law when he literally is the son-in-law? They even just started blindly throwing out shots like, "I don't even know if he has any friends." Like, WTF, mom and dad? Of course you don't know crap about him because you've made me keep my relationship out of earshot for 6 years. But I digress. It ends up being a 3-hour-long conversation where I spoke for all of about 5 minutes with my heart rate at 150 the whole time. Thanks for reminding me, Apple Watch. Resident Riley, how bad is 150? Is that's super high, right?
It's like basically doing CrossFit for 3 hours. Like, yeah.
Oh
like,
my God.
Like a CrossFit workout's like 160, 170 beats per minute. And 150 is like if you're running. I would say if you're running.
Jeez. They also don't fail to mention a few other shining points, such as, "We knew you would put this on us, that this is not an ultimatum. We are just reacting to your choices and decisions," was their reply to me saying, "This is not my choice. This is an ultimatum you've given me, and neither my boyfriend or I want this. We knew you would make us the bad guys because we're not. Hashtag team boyfriend. Any of your friends and family who say we will not come around or it will get better is lying to you and saying what you want to hear." They asked me why they should like or be impressed by my boyfriend. I told them various accolades, and dad just replied with, "Education doesn't impress me." I told them how wonderful he was through some of the toughest times in my life, college, and how he supported and kept me sane when even my parents were coming down on me about how I wasn't doing enough. They said, that's what any boyfriend would do. No, mom and dad, it's not. And the two of you were certainly making me feel worse that entire time. They said because my boyfriend's dad helped him get through school by paying his tuition, that he's had everything in life handed to him. I don't want no silver spoon raising my grandbabies. Dad said, I think your mom is having an epiphany about who you're becoming, like I'm some monster. They said, we feel like you're not listening to us because I'm not just blindly agreeing to break up with my boyfriend. And dad said, this kind of thing happens all the time, as if it makes it normal or justified. At the end, I have to break the news that in between all of the hurtful texts and prior to this meeting, my boyfriend and I signed a lease and are moved in together. Nothing they were going to say was going to sway me otherwise. Even they said that. So we had taken the leap and made the move the weekend before this meeting. I commuted about 20 to 30 minutes before the move, and my commute is the same after the move. Only difference is we now live in the same city that my boyfriend, now a new attorney with crazy early and late hours. Believe me, I had all kinds of requirements prior to this move. It has to be safe, have an in-unit washer and dryer, safe parking, etc., etc. And it's only for a year or two while we save money so we can buy a home. Contrary to my parents' belief, I am capable of rational decisions. Opie seems like the most normal, rational person on planet Earth. I told them first that we signed the lease and where it is, to try and lighten the blow that I'm outright disobeying them. They start going off about how, of course, making it easy on him again. They saw me always going to my boyfriend's house as me catering to him, even though the only reason was because we were never comfortable being together at their house. Then, of course, he became essentially banished. Riley, there's a perfectly reasonable solution to all this. If you want to hang out with your boyfriend, you two just have to sit on the sidewalk outside of our house without walking through the door, and you can be together that way.
The only way, I guess.
So they see this move as me being some smitten teenage idiot, not about how this is a relationship with compromise. They tell me that my commute is going to be brutal and that I'm lying to myself if I think it's not. Again, I have already been doing it for a week. I know it's not any worse. It's a prettier drive even, but it's clear that I can't slowly ease into it, and I just have to rip off the Band-Aid because they are straight up just wrong and trying to convince me that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I say, we've already been doing it for a week. We moved in last weekend.
Ooh.
Riley, if they didn't like a hoodie, they're gonna love the fact that they moved in together without telling them. They're going to be like, you know what? Forget about this whole hoodie thing. You're right. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Let's open a bottle of champagne and have a little housewarming for you.
This was all a test.
This is all a test. What do you think the reaction is going to be? Real quick prediction. Everyone in the comments right now. What do you think they're going to say?
I just think they're going to lay into it even more and try to do whatever they can possibly to get her to get out of it. But she can't. What do you think?
Cancel your lease. They are just dumbfounded. Lol. I thought you guys said you weren't planning on changing my mind, so why so surprised that I went ahead with my choice? My mom starts crying. My dad keeps saying, yeah, effed up, kid. It's about 10 p.m. at this point. So now that they know I have a slightly longer drive home, they're kind of sweeping me out the door so I can get home before it gets too much later. My mom gives me this big sobbing hug. At this point, I've run out of tears. I was crying throughout the entire conversation, but at this point was just over the BS. Which you should be. My dad, who rarely even tells me that he loves me, gives me this awkward, desperate hug that just kind of makes me roll my eyes. I get in the car and drive home just totally exhausted and confused. Truthfully, they did a good job of, again, making me question my own thoughts and choices. But I got home and just start spilling everything they said to my boyfriend. He's not surprised, but as I said in my last post, he remains Swiss, as in neutral as freak in all of this, and doesn't say anything crappy about them. My boy is a good one.
Damn.
I don't know if I'd be so generous.
No, I'd definitely be dropping some jokes or something.
He just holds me close and lets me vent. He's a keeper.
He's a keeper.
Something else that came up during our lovely 3-hour discussion was my anxiety. I previously shared with them that I think they are a huge source of it and had been throughout my childhood as well. Prior discussions have always gone nowhere. You had it so easy. We don't ask that much of you, etc., etc. So I brought it up again in this discussion, how my parents are a huge source of anxiety and my boyfriend is a calm rock in all of it, that I'm so grateful that he's such a great partner. My dad screams at me how he never laid an effing hand on me and how he was physically disciplined as a child, and he just can't own that they could have had anything to do with me being an anxious person. Yeah, I didn't beat you as a child. Give me the Parent of the Century Award, please.
Physical abuse and emotional abuse are not the same.
Come on. He even says, you need effing therapy. Like, yes, Dad. Thank you. I sure do. And also, F you. Also, I said, I had a hard time swallowing that I had anything to do with your anxiety. You're going to have to work out those demons with yourself. All of this to say, the answer you've all waited for is that I have moved in with my boyfriend. I'm keeping my mom and dad at arm's length. And also, I have started therapy. It's 26 years of emotional abuse and narcissism to unpack and learn from, but I'm working through it. Hey, congratulations, OP. That I am truly happy you've broken out of their freaking messed up matrix. So that is awesome news. The guilt tripping and lack of boundaries is so real and has been real for forever. I know my situation isn't as bad as others and is also worse than others, but for all of you out there in similar situations, seek therapy. It is really a good thing. There's so much behavior to unlearn and grow from. Even if you don't think it's bad and that you're doing fine, see a therapist if you can. Your abusers have learned behavior too. They have learned how to get you and how to manipulate you, whether it's vindictive or not. They have learned how to make you do what they want and think what they think, and then they know how to make you feel horrible about doing anything differently. Seek counsel and family and friends whose advice you trust. Seek therapy, and above all, trust yourself. I still get very emotional about all of this. It's still a very fresh wound. I mourn the relationship I had with my mom and the one I will never have with my dad. My health is definitely suffering at the moment from all of the stress, but I'm working on getting my mental health back, and I know my body will follow. Breaking the wheel is hard and terrifying. It's like being a crate-trained puppy forever and finally being allowed to go outside, but outside is unknown. The crate is all you know, and even though you know the crate is confining and freedom is in front of you, it's all so unfamiliar, uncertain, and frightening. You know what's behind you, and it's easy to want to run back to it. But no matter what is in front of you, it's better than the crate. The crate is not living for yourself, living for someone else. So go out and make your own life. Oh my God, hold on. Jeez, another freaking round of applause. Oh, OP.
Wow.
I'm proud of you, OP.
That she saw through all that and she like still stayed like focused and didn't like veer off to what they said. That takes a lot of courage.
Shout out to OP. I think she really like broke through all of the noise, seeking therapy, figuring out for herself what she wants, and kind of like building and going into the unknown, like she said, with the boyfriend, and they're probably going to have an incredible, successful relationship. I mean, he's literally a freaking lawyer from UC Berkeley. Like, what are we even talking about here?
What else more do you want?
I guess lesson of the day is if your parents don't like hoodies, just cut and run, man. Just end it.
Cut it out. Get out of there.
Am I the a-hole for saying that I didn't wear makeup to my aunt's event because it wasn't a special occasion?
Who says you gotta wear it?
This comes from Throwaway Big Strugs, and they say, for context, I, a 26 female, and my aunt is 58 female. This weekend, the family met up for Memorial Day. Just a casual family hangout for the holiday. Nothing formal or any big event to celebrate. Even though I used to when I was younger, I pretty much never wear makeup anymore except on formal special occasions because it damaged my skin when I wore it every day. My aunt semi-recently moved back to the States after spending 6 years living in various places in Europe, and this is the third time we've had a family gathering with her since she got back. Sounds like they have a nice little family gathering.
I like it.
Fun stuff.
I like it
Good
so far.
times. The previous 2 times the family got together, it was a more formal occasion and I wore makeup and a dress both times. This time, I wore normal clothes, shorts, a button-down, sandals, and no makeup. The rest of the family was more or less as casual as I was, but all the women wear makeup on a daily basis, except for me. I noticed my aunt was acting really strangely around me. When I asked her if everything was okay, she turned it around on me and asked if I was sick. I said, no, I'm fine. She then said, so why do you look like that?
Oh my God. Wow.
Riley said I looked sick the other day.
You just look sad.
I said sick like I was a leper.
Wait, what? Was this Saturday?
It was like last week.
Oh, I don't remember it, but yeah, you probably did.
Thanks. Riley wants me to wear makeup, I guess. She said, so why do you look like that? And I didn't know what she meant at first, but she kept pressing until I realized she meant I wasn't wearing makeup. I was kind of annoyed at her being so bothered by this, but I tried to stay calm and explain that I only wear makeup on special occasions. I really should not have said this because this apparently ruined her whole weekend. She started freaking out about how I don't consider seeing her to be a special occasion and ended up leaving the family gathering early and in tears.
Get over it. Come on.
In tears because OP didn't wear makeup.
Let people live their lives. Why does it
Because you
matter?
look like a clown with all of your makeup doesn't mean you have to get all of your other people to board your clown car.
Got him. Take that, auntie.
The next day was the Memorial Day parade, and it was my nephew's first time marching in the marching band. So kind of a special occasion, but still casual. My aunt, however, still angry from the special occasion comment, showed up in stained pajamas with her hair unbrushed. When my mom asked her to explain herself, she just said, well, OP doesn't think it's a special occasion, so why should I bother? She attended the parade like that and repeated that line every time someone asked if she was okay or why she was dressed like that.
Like, why do you look homeless?
Yeah, OP made me do it.
Yeah.
OP wasn't wearing makeup to my
So I
party.
became homeless. You see what you did to me.
The rest of my family thinks she's being unreasonable, but that it's also on me to talk her down from this grudge she's holding, or else she's going to keep acting out. What do I do? And there is an edit, relevant comments, and an update. But John, what do you think?
I think Riley needs to stop highlighting this.
And it won. What kind of stains?
Auntie, what are you getting up to over there? Uncle's looking real happy. But in all seriousness, like, this is not, the aunt made it a problem. If she made the problem, then OP doesn't have to fix it, right? I mean, she was like, why didn't you wear makeup? Oh, it's not a special occasion. Oh, and it's like, OP's like, in reality, maybe OP could go up to her and be like, hey, like,
how could we squash this beef?
Maybe OP could say like, hey, I used to wear makeup every day, but it like irritated my skin. So I just try to wear it I just try not to wear it as much.
Just say, hey, my doctor says I have a skin condition, and if I wear makeup, I could die.
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I think that will
it's a great
shut her up.
lie.
That's a winner.
Fantastic lie. That would shut her up, which low key could be a good
Get a
thing.
doctor's note.
Dude,
Yeah.
I have a horrible story about, how do you know if I should tell it? I told someone I had Tourette's once so they would sit off my back. I feel really bad. I still haven't told her the truth.
Oh my God.
Who? All right. Well, some relevant comments. Is the aunt always like this? OP responds, I honestly don't know. She hasn't been a major presence in my life even before she left the country. My mom has described her as a drama queen, but I mostly just chalk that up to a typical sister dynamic. I haven't heard of her having any outbursts like this before. When told to ignore the aunt, OP responds, I'd love to agree with you, but a lot of my family, especially my mom's side, is going to be really upset with me if I don't at least attempt to diffuse the situation. I know I'm not the one in the wrong here, but I think I can only start ignoring her after I've done something to cool her down to avoid turning this into a worse situation than it already is. I love my family and I want to keep the peace, and there is a thick, juicy update coming up. But John, what do you think OP should do if they want to keep the peace?
Okay, I feel like there's like two scenarios. There's like principle and reality, right? On principle, you want to be like, hey, I don't have to wear makeup for you or do what you want. I'm my own person. I can move how I want, this, that, and the third. But in reality, you know that a person like this is just going to keep throwing tantrums and being annoying and causing havoc with your other family. So I'm curious on your take and take in the comments as well. But I'm almost like, do you just kind of say, hey, oh, my bad, I want to apologize to you, just to like not have to deal with all this mess? What do you think?
I would say, like, I would honestly probably probably would just tell the truth. I would just be like, hey, I used to wear makeup all the time, but it really makes my skin break out. And maybe just get a note for the dermatologist if you really want to squash the beef, which wouldn't be that hard to get. But I don't even think you have to do that. But I think you just say like, hey, this is the reason that I wasn't wearing makeup. Is there any way that we can move past this? Like what would help? You know, and then like, obviously you don't, like, it's not on you to do this, but if you want to be the bigger person and really just like move through it as elegantly as possible, I think that's what you do.
I don't think the aunt deserves it. I'm almost thinking like kind of combine both, where it's like basically where you were saying, hey, you know, this is the reason why it irritates my skin. I, you know, all of this stuff happens medically, whatever. And I'm sorry, you know, I definitely didn't mean to upset you. So you can like give the actual true legitimate reason, apologize just for, you know, peacekeeping sake, maybe, if that will, because my thought process is like, if that will really stop all of it, is she just going to keep showing up into these stuff with like pajamas and holes in her shirts and stuff, like just to get her to stop being crazy and annoying?
Yeah, and it's
a pretty low
family,
cost.
so you kind of like, it's something that you're gonna have to deal with.
You can't escape it.
Out. Yeah, you can't escape it. And like, yeah, you could try not inviting her to stuff, but I don't know if that will go well with the rest of your family. And I don't think this is a big enough thing to go no contact over.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, yes, it's annoying. Yes, it's dumb, but you might just have to apologize even though you didn't do anything wrong, just to keep the peace.
The cost is really not that high. It's just basically apologizing, albeit for something you shouldn't have to apologize for, but it might make your life way better. So it's like you win in the end.
There is a question of is this enabling behavior?
That is a great question. And I think this really toes the line of that. And also follow-up question, do you care? Like if truly in reality, if this aunt is just like going around and showing up in stained pajamas just to get petty revenge and stuff, like, is it of your concern to really have to be the one to, all right, let me die on this hill to finally
teach her a lesson,
to teach the aunt a lesson?
I don't know if it is possible to reach this woman, at least while she's wearing these pajamas.
Honestly, like, I think if anything, I think like maybe her significant other or her like children, maybe. But it's like, and you know what, maybe they have a close relationship. It's the families getting together a lot, but I don't know.
I can't imagine like I would just go up to her and stop acting like a child. Normally that doesn't go over well.
Yes, it's gonna make OP's life way harder.
And yes, there's nothing to apologize for, but yeah, I mean, yes, the auntie is acting like a child and let her like embarrass herself, but it's just, I mean, your whole family is telling you to apologize. And is it really like, I don't know.
I like Sheriff Shock's apologize, like that kind of apology.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, it's basically just like, let me not make my life
it's a peacekeeping apology.
It is a peacekeeping apology.
Yeah.
Especially if your other family is hounding you, like it could be at the point where it's just not worth it.
But let's go into the relevant comments.
Let's do it.
And the update. Oh, actually, no, just the update because we already read the relevant comments. So, updates. Hi, all. There have been some unexpected developments in this situation that I wanted to share. Despite that, most of you suggested I just ignore her. I felt a sense of obligation and was under a lot of familial pressure to try to get her one-on-one and attempt to communicate. Yesterday, I brought her a fresh baked loaf of bread as a gesture of goodwill and called and told my uncle to warn her that I was coming over to talk. He had been off visiting his own parents over Memorial Day weekend, so he'd only heard about her freakout. It did not go well. I tried to gently explain to her that when I said special occasion, I meant formal occasion, and that I always think it's special to see her and the rest of the family. She completely rejected my explanation and said, I can't tell someone they're not special and just turn around and say, never mind, and said some nasty things about my appearance since I again was not wearing makeup. She finished by taking the loaf I made for her and making sure I watched as she threw it in the garbage. At this point, I said, I tried, I'm done, I can't help you, and left.
Yo.
I feel like OP was kind of doing what we said.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, you know what? And again, not that she has to do any gesture of goodwill. She shouldn't have had to do anything. But I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe she doesn't want to give a fake apology. And she's like, hey, let me just give you this little loaf of bread, you know, little something, little gesture.
But she was even like, hey, like, let me explain. I just, it wasn't a formal
thing.
Let
me explain myself. Yeah. 100%. And then she throws the bread in the trash.
Yeah.
She should throw herself in the trash. where she belongs.
But there's more. So my uncle stopped me as I was leaving the house looking really upset. I assumed he was just embarrassed over my aunt's outburst, but he asked me to take a walk with him so we could talk. He walked around the neighborhood and he apologized for how my aunt has been acting, but started to cry. When he was able to talk again, he admitted the reason they had come home from traveling in Europe is that my aunt had been diagnosed with early onset dementia.
Ah, there you go. There you go. I mean, that adds a lot of context.
Adds context.
Yeah.
Still a dick.
Why
but
not?
adds context.
Why not tell everyone? I wonder. I'm sure they might.
It's early.
Get to it.
I don't know. I think it's like maybe they're not ready.
Maybe.
A lot of people were making jokes about that in the responses, but it turned out to be the actual explanation. She had never been on a hair trigger like that before she started showing signs. He wanted to keep it private until they weren't able to keep it private anymore, but he was having a hard time accepting that that time had already arrived, which I feel like obviously still not a good thing that she did, but I feel like it would make people a little bit more forgiving knowing that context.
Yeah, and also hearing her husband's explanation, I can kind of see it's like he was having a hard, which I totally get. Like that's probably a really hard thing to go through mentally, and he's self-aware of like, yeah, I wanted to wait for a good time, but actually, I should have already.
We cried together for a while, and he agreed that he needs to start the process of telling the family about her condition and looking into getting her some extra help. I talked to my mom about it afterwards, and she's really upset. She was scared that something like this might be the case because the way she showed up to the parade looking like a mess was so out of character, and that's why she wanted me to try to resolve it. She assumed that such a reaction meant I must have done something for it, or at least partially be my fault. A lot of people have assumed she was just a lifelong narcissist who always acted out to get her way, but this was new behavior for her. Classic Reddit. Oh yeah, the reason? Narcissist.
Narcissist, done.
Dude, everyone's a narcissist on Reddit. That's
True.
evil. All the evils are narcissists. Ultimately, I'm glad that I tried to make amends if it led to the truth. I quickly went from resenting my aunt to feeling extremely bad for her. Dementia runs in my family, but it usually takes till the late 80s or early 90s to set in. To deal with a disease that attacks her mind and personality so young is so awful for her, for my uncle, and for their kids. So yeah, if your older loved ones start acting nasty in a way that they've never been before, maybe that's not nothing. Watch out for yourselves and your loved ones, y'all. Irrelevant comments, complete entry responds, your mom was still grossly unfair to you. OP responds, I'm not going to blame her. We don't always act rationally when faced with stressful situations that we've never experienced before. No one except for me and my aunt witnessed the initial interaction that led to her freaking out. People only saw when she started yelling and crying. My mom probably thought I wasn't telling the whole story.
And the aunt is 58 years old.
Yeah, that's early. That's early.
Opie's, I feel, pretty like fair and measured and
OP has been fair and
objective.
measured throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, like even when they didn't know that their aunt had dementia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I guess what the uncle can do. This is the reason that we always trend towards being understanding and
right.
showing empathy because you never know what someone's going through. So if you err on the side of being apologetic, being empathetic, being non-confrontational, and like giving people the benefit of the doubt, then it's like things like this, you know? What?
Oh,
what should OP do?
wow.
Whoa.
Look at Chad switching
Look
it
at
up.
you go.
Oh.
62% of you. What should OP do? Apologize. Wow. Some of you guys say, I still don't feel bad.
I don't feel bad. Still wouldn't apologize.
Randy, I'm gonna double down though. But yeah, that's where that story ends.
Wow.
I feel like there's not much OP can do, but I feel like the uncle, maybe it's time to start telling family about the diagnosis.
Yeah, and in fairness, like I think the uncle realizes this and is actually, I already should have mentioned it, but hard thing to do. So I get it.
Also, Riley, they're saying the tip link isn't working. It's up or it doesn't work.
It works for some people. It doesn't work for some.
Does it work for us? Or it's there, right?
It's there.
Anyway, should we do a call-in?
Yeah, we can. Or we can do the next story. We can read this next story and do a call-in for that one.
I don't see another story.
In here?
Yeah,
There's
I
the
see
third
two.
one.
There's a third one?
Yeah.
Also, what time are we at?
Oh, what
We're
time
at
are we at?
50 minutes.
50.
50.
We could do, I feel
50.
like a call-in
Yeah,
would be
call-in.
good to close out this
Yeah.
episode.
Okay. Hit me up on Discord.
Hit us up on Discord if you have an ambulance story, a hoarding story, or
Toxic family story.
or a toxic family story.
Yeah. Specifically of the low to no contact nature.
Yes.
To answer our question.
Put it, go DM Riley on Discord right now
That's right.
if you want to do that.
Speaking of the question, going back to should you cut off toxic family members? Obviously, this is a different situation because OP found out that their family member had dementia, but hearing like both experiences, both like how the aunt treated her again before we knew she had dementia, and then how the mom was treating the daughter, it's like, what do you do when you start getting up to that line of, okay, did I just block this person out of my life?
Oh, like even if they have dementia?
Not even if they have dementia, I'm saying like that aside, maybe like that aside. In
Like
these two
what's the
stories.
line where you kind of cut people off?
What do you do when you start approaching that line of like, should I cut them off or nah?
I mean, you can be. I remember I distanced myself from a friend, and I just kind of said like, "Hey, this is why." Like, it was a conversation of like, I feel like you're lashing out in a lot of ways, and I don't know if this is like really good to be around each other. And then kept happening, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna like give you some space.
I like I'm gonna give you some space. That's
Yeah.
actually feels like because it feels like empathetic, but it's also kind of setting the boundary of like,
yeah. And I said why. I'm like and these are the reasons why. But now we reconnected, and he's great. And so it's like I think it was just going through like a thing that he needed to process some stuff solo, but like I didn't hold it against him because he was like going through stuff, but it's like I think it was good to take that space when it was too damaging.
Now, what if you're at the risk of your friend attacking you so hard they die of a heart attack? Now what do you do? Now what's your move?
I still do the same thing.
4D
Still do
chess.
the same thing, but I just make sure that all of this is communicated over the phone.
What if they reply? They're like, I'm gonna remove that space by beating your ass.
All right, I got one.
Then I might. I don't know. I might block him.
All right, let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we got?
We got Just Shin. Oh wait, Just Shin.
Let's do it.
What's their thing?
My sister was hit by an ambulance.
What?
Well, it's convenient.
What's up?
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Justin, how's it going?
It's going great.
So you wrote in that your sister was hit by an ambulance?
Yes.
What happened?
And so my sister lived in Germany for a while, and she wasn't used to all the traffic rules just yet. So she was biking along a lane, going actually on her way to the hospital to leave a stool sample.
And
Wow.
And there was like an ambulance coming behind her, and apparently the law in Germany is that she has to completely stop at the side of the road. But in Sweden, where we're from, we just need to make way for the ambulance. So this ambulance actually hit her. The stool sample went flying, and they literally had to pick her up instead of the person they were actually taking to the hospital.
so that ambulance that hit her took her to the hospital.
Yes.
Awkward.
Yeah, was she
And there's
pissed?
a random
Was she
stool
okay?
sample on the street.
Was she okay though? Was the stool sample okay?
We don't know. It was a
was lost.
casualty of the traffic, I think.
Wow.
Wow.
Never to be found again.
But was your sister okay?
Someone
What happened to your
probably rolled
sister?
over or something.
What happened to your sister?
Sorry. Thankfully, she came out with a couple of those sort of skid marks burns,
Yeah.
and a fractured clavicle. So she's completely fine now.
Whew.
But it was harrowing, and we still laugh about what happened to the stool sample.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy because getting hit or sliding on the road on a bike that's serious business. You could get really hurt
And also,
scraped up.
ambulances are huge.
Yeah.
They're huge and they're going fast usually.
Yeah.
So I mean, and also
Yes.
I love how it was like, yeah, she didn't know the rules. Like we just make way in Sweden, and in Germany you have to completely stop. So the ambulance just ran right into her.
Dude, that
Teaching her a
ambulance
lesson.
driver was on a mission.
Yeah.
The worst part is, she almost had to pay a fee for the damage the ambulance got for running over her bike.
What?
That's insane.
Did she? Well, because it's universal healthcare in Germany, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So she
But I guess it was
They have
damage to
so
the
much
property.
bureaucracy.
Yeah, damage to the property. Wow.
That's
crazy.
so annoying.
Insane.
Well, I'm glad that your sister recovered and also was able to get medical attention very quickly after the injury.
Yes, quite immediate. Yes.
Quite immediate.
Hurrah.
Oh, well, thank you
Hooray.
so much for calling in, Justin, and sharing your ambulance story.
Awesome. Well, Justin, thanks so much for hopping on. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys. You keep me alive.
Of course. See you.
Watch out for ambulances.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, one final question for this episode. If your family member attacked you with an ambulance so hard that they had a heart attack in their own ambulance, would you cut them off? Yes or no? No contact, yes or no?
I would have a conversation with them.
Conversation. All right.
What we're not going to walk away from,
What?
this next story. I don't work here and you're not a customer here. A new breed of Karen. This is OKOP, home to the craziest true stories on earth. I'm Sophia and Riley. What makes the new breed of Karen different from the old?
They know how to use their iPhones, which makes them more dangerous.
Watch out. Ooh, this is an OKOP cross post from IDC123 wife says. I like that it rhymes though. Just had a great experience at my work. Kind of. But worth it. Australian based. Australian. Love it.
Down under. You're Australian.
Yes.
Want to let everyone
Down
know
under. You're Australian.
that.
Before I get into it, and just to add a bit of background, I've been a manager in my line of work for over a decade now, and we deal with rude people all the time. I have zero patience for rude people, and I give it back exactly how it's given to me. At my work, I do the post office run each morning, dropping and collecting mail from our P.O. box. Great chance to get out of the office and create new long ways back to work. Haha. Today we had a parcel pickup slip in there. Nothing unusual with that. We get them all the time. So I collect the parcel and take it back to work with the other mail. When I get back to my desk, I notice that the parcel is from Amazon. A lot of Amazon parcels.
Amazon's like,
Runs the world.
runs the world.
Addressed to someone who doesn't work here, but has our office P.O. box details. There is also a contact number for her on the parcel sticker. So being the kind, caring gentleman that I am, I give her a call.
Ring, ring.
Hey. It goes to her voicemail, so I leave a detailed message about the situation and how to contact me. Moments later, I get a call back on my desk phone.
Ring, ring.
Good afternoon, company name. This is my name speaking. I had a missed call from this number, but I have no idea why you would be calling me because I'm not interested in anything you're selling. Oh no, that's okay. I don't want to sell you anything. Karen, is it? We had a parcel in our P.O. box addressed to you. Did you want to come to our office to pick it up? Why do you have a key to my P.O. box? OP. Well, actually, it's our P.O. box. We have had the same one for 3 years now. Karen. No, it's my P.O. box and that's illegal. Why do you have a key to my P.O. box? I want to speak to your manager. OP. Okay, go for it. I'm the manager. Mic drop. Karen, well, why do you have access to my mail? She yells this whole conversation, but I got sick of writing in caps. OP says, I don't. I have access to my mailbox. I go every day and I've never seen your mail in my box before. So explain to me why you think you have access to mine. You do realize that I am from company name, right? Karen, in a moment of unexpected clarity from her. Well, my P.O. box explains full address, which is almost our address as we have 2 post offices nearby, but hers needs the suburb name, then East added to it. Easy. OP. Oh, I understand now. Sorry. Well, yeah, it looks like Amazon or Australia Post hasn't added that detail to the label sticker, so it's come to the main post office. Haha, whoops. Trying to calm her a bit. Well, when I made the order, I put my details in as I always do. That's how I have them saved on my Amazon profile too. So why did it get sent to you? OP. Getting sick of going back and forth with something I have absolutely no time to deal with. How would I know, mate? I don't work for Amazon or the post office. I literally picked up our P.O. box mail and your parcel with it. I didn't have to call you, but I did. I have nothing to do with your mail or your order details. As I've said multiple times now, I am from company name. Well, this needs to be escalated, and you will need to drop the parcel at my house ASAP because it's urgent. OP. At this point, I thought my nose started bleeding from inner rage. WTF? What's not being understood here? Karen. Well, then take my parcel back to the post office and tell them about the error. OP. I have absolutely no authority to take a parcel back and have them amend the address. Nope. Not gonna happen. You need to come and get it from me, or I can take it back and they will return it to Amazon. I probably could have done more, but really F her. Karen. This is urgent medicine I need. OP, you buy urgent medicine from Amazon and they mark it as beauty products on the customs declaration? Bit odd. Karen, that's none of your business. OP, yeah, exactly. None of this should be my business. Now come and get your parcel and stop blowing up at me. Karen, completely unacceptable behavior. I want to lodge a complaint. OP, you're not a customer of ours. You have no grounds to complain. I'm trying to help you. Karen, where's your office? I will come right now and you better have some answers for me. OP, beautiful. Our address is blank. Can't wait to catch up. See you then. She hangs up. What?
What is happening here?
This lady's a lot.
What? Why is she upset that a mistake was made?
He's literally like, hey, I have your parcel. And she's like, how dare you?
How did you get into my things?
She's a lot. She's a lot.
People make mistakes.
People, like, it's not even OP's mistake. It was the mail's mistake.
And he's helping.
Yeah.
He could have just kept it.
Literally. He could have kept her beauty.
Okay. If he would have kept it, you think she would have noticed that it was not there?
Well, she would have probably like emailed Amazon and been like, I never received this package. But she wouldn't have gone to him.
True.
This is what OP's imagining. I imagine she slammed down her phone and absolutely obliterated it because of how angry she was. Her hands shaking from rage. She cleans the froth from the sides of her mouth, grabs her handbag, makes sure she's carrying her Karen ID, and heads to her new 4WD that she only uses for city travel. Very active imagination. Myself and the other office staff share a great laugh over it. We are currently pacing the room, waiting for her to get here. Everyone wants to witness this pure stupidity firsthand.
Oh boy.
That call was now 3 hours ago, still not here. We'll keep you updated in the comments. And there is an update.
He put a sad face emoji.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't
He's
read
like,
that.
He's like, oh, wish she would come.
Wish she would come.
Dude,
Stop by.
If she comes, what do you think is going to happen?
She's gonna like scream at everyone or something. She's gonna be like, I tried to come earlier and you didn't let me in. She's gonna blame it on them for her not being there.
She probably is. This is insane.
No. That's all I gotta say.
I wonder where he works.
Yeah, company name.
Company name. It's
That's all we know.
Some IT place.
Yeah.
Imagine if it's a gym and she pulls up to the gym, like a CrossFit
Yeah, and they're all
gym
like
or something.
super buff.
She's like,
and they're like, we've got your package for you. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry for yelling. There is an update. Still no Karen. Darn.
Dang.
We have now held 2 separate staff meetings to discuss what should be done to the package. These were some of the most productive meetings we have ever had. And I feel everyone has become closer during this time, a real team bonding moment. She has until this time tomorrow. We'll keep you guys posted.
Nice.
Wow. They're ransoming the package. They call her up. They're like, you have until 2 tomorrow or else your package gets it.
And they open it.
Yeah.
And use it.
There's another update.
She comes. I'm putting money on it.
She comes.
I'm putting money on it.
I bet she comes. Okay. So I'm actually shaking at what just went down. So here goes.
Whoa.
I'm shaking in anticipation. I started a new post as I didn't want the conclusion of part 1 to be lost in the comments after the story got so popular. I didn't realize you guys loved my Karen so deeply. I also wanted to note, looking at the package again yesterday, she had added delivery instructions, leave at address in a secure place if no one is present. Really gives you an idea of the Karen mindset, as this is addressed to a PO box. They are generally very secure. So did she expect a postal officer to guard the PO box until it's picked up? Anyway, she just came in now and wow. I didn't expect it to get any worse, but it did. Almost immediately too.
Whoa.
What do you think happened?
She
came in.
What can I can't even think.
I can't even think of something that could be. Yeah.
These are like Australian men. And I don't know what an Australian Karen looks like, but I know it's going to be heated. I know heat's about to come.
Yeah, heat's going to come.
She comes in. She's like, "Rah!" And they're all like, ah, trying to make sense of it. And then she throws a vase on the floor.
She throws a vase on the floor?
Yep.
Okay. Because my team are quite busy and I oversee their workloads, I sit closest, but still hidden to the main foyer reception area. I generally greet all the customers and take the majority of the calls to our office. My team has to focus on complex financial deals and don't need the distraction of people asking general questions who just walked in without an appointment. We keep an old school desk bell on the reception counter where no one sits, with a sign next to it asking to ring for assistance. Come 9:30 a.m.-ish. That's early. And I think I hear the bell. As you are all probably aware, normally when you ring a bell, you hit the top and instantly move your hand back to allow the vibration to create the noise required to get someone's attention. He's like, I need to explain how bells work, because presumably Karen did not understand. What I heard was the initial ding of the bell, but none of that vibration and loudness. There was an angry, powerful, yet to be removed hand resting on the bell. The hair on my neck stood up. She's here. I immediately lean back on my chair, which gives me an ample view of the reception area. I see a short woman in her 60s with glasses and, surprisingly, not a typical Karen haircut, already staring me down.
Uh-oh.
I jump up and run out. Hello, how are you? Karen, without hesitation. You have my package? Definite attitude already. It's her. OP. Yes, of course. Thanks for coming in. I'm IDC 123 WFE. We talked on the phone. I extended my hand out to shake hers. Karen. I won't shake your hand. Sorry. At this moment, my mind is racing. Is she being rude? Is it a religious thing? How the F do I even respond to this moment? This has probably only happened twice in my life. OP. Okay, no problems. I will give you your package. Just wait here a moment. I go back to my desk and retrieve the package from my drawer, which she can see me do. I walk back to her and she is again already at me. Where are you keeping the package? OP. In my drawer? Karen. Not very secure. OP. Why would it be? You're in my office, which you can clearly see is not a larger version of a PO box or a larger version of a post office for that matter. Karen, looking angry at me in silence like she wants a better explanation. OP. Look, I'm actually having a lot of trouble understanding why you're being so rude about this. I held this package for you in good faith. I called you to let you know I had it, so you didn't have to go through the hassle. I get cut off. Karen. Well, it's the inconvenience of having to come here. My brain legit snapped. OMG, says OP. You're an actual joke. You know that? You're the dumbest person I've ever had to deal with. Take your package and get out of my office. If I ever see another one of your packages with my mail, I will throw it straight in the bin. F helping you again. Oh my God.
Yo.
He went off. Karen mumbling to herself while she grabs the package and digs for her keys from her handbag. Absolutely disgusting. OP. Yes, you are. Shots fired. You should reevaluate how you treat people that have tried to help you. She actually turned around to point and yell at me, but barely got through her sentence. I will never deal with this company again. OP cuts her off. You don't deal with us now. And we don't want to deal with someone like you. What a bad threat. Get out of my office. She stormed out. I watched her go to her car, which was parked in our maintenance driveway. This actually made me laugh so hard. I will explain why. Next to our main entrance is a maintenance driveway. Throughout the day, we will have multiple contractor cars parked here to work on the many levels of the building. In the time since she has come in, her car has been parked in by 2 utility 4WD, bearing the building maintenance company name. The guys are just standing at their cars having a chat. I see her yelling at them to move their cars. They look at her and barely budge. She proceeds to get in her car, and I watch over the next few minutes as she continuously looks back and forth to see if they're moving their cars for her to get out. The maintenance guys start moving at an actual snail pace. One is even checking his phone while he walks to this driver's side door. I'm just laughing my ass off at this point. The other guys in the office have all come out and are enjoying these final moments of her insanity. I kid you not, these guys took about 5 minutes to move their car for her. She beeped about 4 times, drawing the attention of many people walking by. I really wish I was making this up because her exaggerated performance was comical.
Oh my gosh.
She finally got her car out, and as she was driving off, I walked outside and spoke to the maintenance guys and asked what she said to them. Maintenance guy with a thick Kiwi accent, which I also can't do. Yeah, bro. She full came out and straight up told us to move the effing cars. They were, of course, unaware of who she was, so they just took their time to piss her off. I told them the story and we all had a good laugh about it. Thinking back now, I'm pretty happy with the outcome, to be honest. I gotta tell her some honest truths about the situation, and she obviously thought she could continue being a bee. I must have caught her off guard. I really hope that's the last I see of her. Can't wait to tell my future kids and grandkids about her in the years to come.
Wow. And thank you for telling us.
Thank you for telling us. Thank you to our OK fan who submitted that story. It was great.
That was phenomenal. You get us.
You get us.
Wow.
You know.
Was he in the wrong for like telling her off like that?
Am I overreacting for wanting my mother-in-law to apologize first?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I feel like a lot of mother-in-laws are loco. Anyway.
A little bit
Okay.
intense. And this is to answer the question of how do you handle a bad mother-in-law? And TossMe255 says, for background, my fiance, 27 male, and I, 27 female, have been together for 10 years and are getting married in September. Okay. His entire family waited about that long, and we were only 16 when we got together. Wow. Yeah, 10 years. I forgot. We're sticking to the classic college, marriage, family plan. His mom, 62 female, has been a unique character since I met her. She's goofy, well-spoken, and easy to talk to most of the time, though a bit more stiff than my family. We've never had any issues and have always gotten along great. I love her, and she's told me they see me as family already, and have for years before we got engaged. It's also notable that she's almost entirely deaf without her hearing aids, and even with them, she doesn't do great.
I feel like that's a really important detail.
Yeah, she's like, just so everyone knows, this is going to come into play later.
Yeah.
We're used to speaking a bit slower and more clearly for her and have no problem repeating things if need be. My fiance has a sister, 20 female, who's in college and not currently looking for a relationship, so she probably won't be planning a wedding for a while. She's 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 20.
Give her time.
How old is OP? 27. Yeah, she's 20. Given how close my mother-in-law and I are, or were, I wanted to include her in my bridal shopping, and we both try to include our parents in what we can. My mom and grandma attended my bridal appointment with me because mother-in-law was sick and didn't want to get grandma ill, texting me the morning of to tell me she would understand if I'd rather she not come because of this. My grandma is in remission after her third battle with breast cancer and is well into her 70s, so I agreed that maybe that would be best. I wound up finding my dress the same day, had a beautiful moment with my mom and grandma. I wished she could have been there.
Sweet.
That's
That's
so
sweet.
nice,
That's really
right?
nice. Yeah.
Then later on Facebook, I see she felt well enough to go out to an event with a bunch of friends, and she certainly didn't look ill in any of the photos.
Oh my God, this is why social media messes with all of our heads, y'all.
It's so funny.
Why did you have to post, girl?
Why?
Why'd you have to post? I mean, obviously don't lie, but like don't lie and post.
Don't lie and give like proof that you lied.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who are like older and didn't necessarily grow up with this kind of technology don't always understand that everyone's going to see that. They're like, oh yeah, I'll just post it. That's fine. Just showing it to my friends.
Fine.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Our wedding venue also has decor we can choose from, and they will decorate for us. The owner invited us over to make a timeline for the wedding day and to iron out a few details. Wedding is September 8th, so there's still time for specifics and little things. The issue started before we even went. She was made aware of the appointment well in advance and was very excited to come. I made sure to text her a week before and 3 days before to remind her, as is the standard procedure when making plans with her because she tends to be forgetful. So I'm sitting in the living room playing Baldur's Gate 3, sick, and I can hear my fiance on the phone with her upstairs. We call our moms at least once a week to chat, and he has a tendency to wander around the house when he does. I could hear the conversation he was having just at the top of the stairs, and I overheard her speakerphone tell him his father was coming home on Wednesday, the day of the appointment, and they wanted to watch a shuffleboard competition. Not play, watch. She asked him to ask me to reschedule for another day so she could watch shuffleboard.
Yo, come on now. Come on.
What?
Shuffleboard, wedding planning. Shuffleboard, wedding planning.
Maybe she just really loves shuffleboard. She's like, this is the shuffleboard. Like, this is the Olympic shuffleboarding
event. Yeah.
The top shuffleboarder will be there, and we'll never have that moment again. We won tickets from a radio competition.
I hope that's the
and
case.
It's in Paris.
Yeah, if that were the case, go ahead, girl.
Go do it.
You know,
do
yeah.
it. He politely told her if she had other plans and couldn't make it, it was all right. She didn't have to come, not in a rude way, and she knew that. No worries there. She insists that she does have to come to the appointment and again asks him to ask me to reschedule. So she feels she has to come but makes no attempts to prioritize it. I could not believe she had the audacity to ask that everyone move their plans around over a shuffleboard game.
I don't know how people operate that way.
I don't understand.
I really don't.
I don't understand how you can be that entitled.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had any interest in it. This was out of the blue. That'd be so funny if she had never talked about shuffleboard before. And she's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm really into it. I've been watching all those TikToks and those Facebook reels, and I love it.
But what even is shuffleboard,
I don't
guys?
know. Isn't it like,
Oh, where you boom, like a big backgammon thing.
yeah, I think so. And it's like you're trying to like get it close to a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I think I've played it before.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting thing.
Sounds like a very active game for
yeah.
someone in their 60s,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. And, Dixie Blue Steel says she probably has early stage dementia, which, you know, it could be possible because they
Aw.
talked about her memory issues.
Yeah.
However,
yeah.
it doesn't seem like she forgot about it. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe she did.
She just thinks her plans are more important.
Yeah.
Sounds like a narcissist,
yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Mix Moose a lot says it must have been the shuffliest board that ever shuffled. It better have been. It freaking better.
Oh, man.
Oh, you got the stick. Yeah. This is like the thing that you play on cruises.
Wow. That looks fun.
There's always like a shuffle. I've never been on a cruise, but
I've been once.
I presume there's shuffleboard going on.
There should be.
Yeah. If there's not, there should be. There should be.
There should be.
Because I want to watch it and miss a decorating appointment. Naturally, we each invited our parents to the appointments at the venue. His dad travels for work, so it wound up being his mom and my parents, 47 female and 49 male. Young parents.
Young.
She's 27.
Wow.
That's really young. That's really
See,
young.
then this kind of tracks, right? Because the way OP said it was like high school,
Yeah.
college, marriage. Like, it seems very like that's what they saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, 27 is not super, super early, but yeah, it just, yeah. You're like, ugh.
I'm like, I am so far
Yeah.
from marriage. I'm like,
No, I
Yeah.
definitely will not be ready to marry at 27,
No.
but at least it's not 21.
right.
Yeah, because we do read a lot of stories, and sometimes, of course, they work out fine, and
Yeah.
you know, people are very happy. But I
Mm-mm.
cannot imagine myself getting married right now.
Wait, how long do you have to know the person before you get married?
Ooh.
I don't know if there's necessarily a
time.
hard and fast rule.
Mm.
Like 6 months?
A little bit longer than that.
A year?
I would say at least a year.
I think at least a year. My thing is also, I think that a person, you should live together.
Yeah.
If again, like prefacing, as long as that's not outside of your religion and stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
But if you're okay with that, I think you should live together.
See how you guys
See
work.
how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, you can learn a lot about a person.
Mhm.
Comment how quick you guys got together in
Yeah.
the chat.
You guys in the chat. The venue owner, let's call her Jenny, is a fun, easygoing, dorky, laid-back person, and she's great. She's just like me, and we have so much in common. I even joked to my mom that I should just marry Jenny. Do it. I bet you won't. I dare you.
Bet you won't.
But you won't.
What odds?
Odds or evens, flip coin. We were all sitting around a table making our game plan for the wedding, using tablecloth colors and whatnot. It was all okay with minor hiccups caused by mother-in-law's somewhat choppy social skills, partially due to the fact that only one of her hearing aids was working that day. This meant Jenny had to repeat herself several times, re-explain the same thing immediately afterwards, and we tried to help her and help explain to mother-in-law. She was professional, but she seemed a bit uncomfortable as time went on, and mother-in-law kept low-key trying to make the decisions for us. Okay, that's a little bit difficult of a situation if she's not hearing it.
Yeah.
I think it's less on her this time because she's probably like she's probably not hearing it and was like, oh, well, what if you did this? And I'm like, well, we already talked about that.
Right. Sounds like there might be some tension here that we're not really aware of. You know, like clearly they have a good relationship, it seems.
Yeah.
But there might be some tension.
Yeah. I think that, because if it's just like her hearing doesn't work.
Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah. Jenny kept trying to redirect the conversation and politely remind her that the choices were for my fiance and I to make, implying that we had plenty of time to figure out the specifics and it didn't need to be decided now.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make what we tell them and supply, so there's no need to know yet. Yeah, Miss Jaber says write it down. Get a little whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
Or get a computer. Mother-in-law got to meet drunk me at a wedding a few months ago, and we talked and had a great time. She showed me a new kind of cocktail and was really pushing to have it at my wedding too. The drink was good, but not my favorite. I really don't think I want it as one of the featured drinks at my wedding, and I politely said no to that suggestion. But she kept bringing it up and pushing about it. I'm not a bridezilla, but honestly, after so many polite shutdowns, I put my foot down and firmly said no. Honestly, I might have even snapped at her. This is the one day where I'm allowed to be selfish. The one day where I don't have to make allowances for mother-in-law like everyone usually does.
Yes.
For once, what I say goes, and I said no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your wedding.
It's your wedding. Later, Jenny asked if we were doing the shoe game, dollar dance, candle lighting, or anything like that. I'm not familiar.
Shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard. The mother-in-law's like, please, shuffleboard.
Okay, that would be fun to have like all these huge games at a wedding. Like, oh,
I want to have games at my wedding.
Right?
That sounds great.
Like a big tic-tac-toe and a big...
You have one of those chessboards things?
Yeah.
You know that part in the wedding where people are taking photos and all the families like, oh, now we have to talk to one another?
Yeah.
I want a comedy set there.
Oh.
I want to get a comedian and they just get after it.
Yeah. Interesting. I actually don't know what I want. I have no idea, but I don't know.
I'm thinking about shuffleboard now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want, but I do know I want shuffleboard. Mother-in-law tried to persuade me to do the candle thing. What is the candle thing? But I'm honestly not interested. Again, I politely said I don't think I want to do it. And we did discuss what it usually entails, and it confirmed that neither I nor my fiance really wanted to do it. I said we really want photos like that. We can just do it in nice clothes in the summer, but I don't want to do it on my wedding day. But she kept pushing. I know she meant well, but I turned it down several times before I again firmly said no. I didn't raise my voice, just spoke confidently.
Do you think that she's talked to her fiance about this?
I think she should if she hasn't.
Yeah.
Because I think she needs to express, hey, like your mom
Can
is
you
getting a little
tell
bit.
mom to back off a little bit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I think that now it's just kind of falling on her. Like she's looking like the a-hole because she's having to shut this mother-in-law down so much.
Shut her down.
Shut her down.
And the fiance looks like he is the middleman.
Yeah.
with all
Yeah.
this.
Oh, you don't have to be so hard.
And on
But
the
I think
phone
he
call,
needs to,
mother-in-law was like, can you please ask her to move her stuff?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I think he needs to be a little bit more involved in this situation or it's gonna get messy.
I know.
My parents know I have always known what I want and don't want. Honestly, I thought mother-in-law knew too. My mom was proud of me for standing up for myself for once and taking charge. It came to a head when we were discussing what to do with the bar option. We decided to go with the one where we provide the alcohol and choose a few drinks to feature at the reception. She's going to want her.
She wants that special cocktail.
She wants it. Denny will supply bartenders. As mother-in-law is trying to dominate the convo, she's leaning closer and closer to Jenny, who is getting increasingly uncomfortable. Okay, to be fair, maybe she's leaning closer because she can't hear her.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's what my grandparents do. My grandparents are hard of hearing. So they just lean in close.
Yeah.
And I yell at them.
Right.
Not in like a mean way, just like, hey, this is what I'm saying. You can't hear me.
Yeah, this feels like she's just trying to pick something apart because she's annoyed by mom-in-law.
Yeah. Mother-in-law is like trying to, and I think that it is annoying that the mother-in-law is trying to insert herself. But I think a lot of these little things that she's bringing up seem to be more in line with her being hard of hearing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Some of it is her being entitled, and some of it's just being hard of hearing,
which
is like,
give
her some slack in some stuff.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me though.
I want like something to happen.
Yeah.
I want like mom-in-law to just do something wild, you know?
Do something crazy. She never raised her voice, but she kept pressing the issue of wanting/expecting Jenny to have a list of drink suggestions. She did say most people do a vodka, a whiskey, etc., but didn't suggest anything specifically because it isn't her specialty and it's our choice, Beyonce and I. And she had to repeat, so I think this is Jenny saying this, and she had to repeat this several times, explaining there was plenty of time for us to discuss it, and she tried to move along to the next item, but mother-in-law kept pressing. Dan Digital says, mother-in-law needs to insert her hearing aid, not herself. See, now I think this is leaning into she's inserting her like back.
Right.
Yeah. Like before I was like, oh, it's hearing aid, but I think this is back in. Yeah.
She just shouldn't be a part of this.
Yeah. Maybe they should just stop inviting her.
That's the thing. I get inviting to the dress shopping. Like that's really nice sense. Having family, I imagine. But like the drinks and the cake tasting and this and those.
I don't think those are always things that, you know, extended family come to anyway.
Yeah.
Like I think sometimes that is just like a partner in you.
Right.
So maybe just saying, hey, we're just going to do this. We're going to do
You don't even have to tell them.
You don't even tell them.
Don't even tell them.
Don't even tell
them.
Well,
we can't hear it anyways.
Mother-in-law isn't very observant and isn't very good at reading the room. We could all feel the tension rising as Jenny got more and more uncomfortable with mother-in-law showing signs of anxiety. Both my fiance and I tried explaining again and trying to get her to move on from the specific drinks that don't matter yet. Wedding is in September. Finally, Jenny cracked and looked dead at me and said, I'm sorry, this is feeling hostile.
Ooh.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. So in front of mother-in-law, she said that. I feel like you don't call that out.
Yeah, why she said
like
that to OP too. I feel like that's a weird. I think that if you're like a professional person, I don't know if I would.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like there's a way to.
That wasn't the way to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's like you finish that conversation and after the fact, you go to OP and you're like, hey, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable.
Yes.
I think moving forward, we need to plan this a bit differently.
Like maybe I don't feel like comfortable being around your mother-in-law. Yeah, I don't know if I would have done that in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Trying to avoid looking at mother-in-law, who immediately got offended, who said, do you feel I'm attacking you? Jenny says, yes, I do. Poor Jenny is visibly shaken as she stands up for herself in as calm a manner as she can. She has anxiety like me, and neither of us were doing well. We made it about a 4 or 5 minutes into the appointment. Yeah. For asking you for drink suggestions, mother-in-law proceeds to slam her hands on the table. Okay, that's a little intense.
Yeah.
Echoing very loudly in the barn menu and grabs her coat. I don't deal with stress well and immediately teared up with a double order nausea. Fine, if I'm not wanted, I'll go. And proceeds to stomp out.
Ooh.
Whoa. This is getting so dramatic over some cocktails.
Yeah. Josephine Medolas-Berkey says, no, she is right in calling it out. Yeah, I think how it should have been done, I think they should have addressed this way sooner. I think she just shouldn't. I think I agree with you. She shouldn't have been going to the appointments earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, it's not professional to call that out in the moment. And I really think it could have just, I don't know. It's hard though when our emotions get the best of us in the moment.
And if she has anxiety, she's probably like, uncomfortable. This is a lot, especially of like the slamming. That was, because I feel like before OP didn't say exactly what was so like, making her Jenny so uncomfortable, but the slamming of hands, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit split.
Maybe she's just trying to get lit at the party.
Like, I just want good cocktails.
Bring a flask.
Courtney Brady says, wait, what is the relationship of Jenny and OP? I missed the beginning. Jenny is the, she seems like she's the decorator.
Yeah.
They just get along really well.
Like the planner. Yeah.
Which, so that's the only reason, just because I worked in like service, obviously don't treat people disrespectfully. But I think that as someone who worked in it, you just kind of have
to put up with it,
dude. You have to put up with a lot.
You do.
Which is not fair.
You go and cry in the kitchen and then you come back.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that Radish says it's perfectly professional if you feel your client is being hostile. I think it depends. I think it depends on what she was doing, because the slamming the hands would be a lot. And I think at that point I'd be like, no, that's...
At that point I'd be like, hey, I'm done with this conversation.
Yes. I think that's,
Divorce the mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Kick her out of the family.
Kick her out.
Emma 1408 says, I think if you're feeling unsafe, it's okay to call it out. Yeah. I think I wasn't as clear before the slamming of the hands.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
It just seemed like she was nosy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if it was just her being like, oh, I want
Tequila
drinks at the menu.
sunrise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please. And that was the only thing that I'd be like, I don't know if I would call that out. But if it was the same energy of slamming the table and being like, you're wrong, then I think calling it out is okay.
I want to see what happens. I want to know where fiance comes into
what
play.
is he
Because
doing?
I'm like, where is he?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Yeah. I proceeded to try and fail not to cry, which also sucks because I feel like this is OP's like, you should be happy about this.
Yeah.
You should be enjoying it.
I know.
Which is, again, why I think that the mother-in-law should just not have been invited to these things.
Also, side note, so many brides that I talk to or bride-to-be, it sounds like wedding planning is miserable.
Yeah.
You know?
It sounds really hard.
It sounds really hard and not fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like it shouldn't be that way, right?
Yeah. I think it should be. I mean, I think event planning in general is just really hard, and that's why people try to.
If you have enough money, you pay someone to do it.
To do it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a luxury.
Yeah. I think actually I would love to do a poll because I think I'm a little bit split on, do we think that Jenny should have called her out? Because I think I've seen some people in the comments saying she was perfectly right to call her out. And I think after the slamming of the hands, I agree with that.
But before the
Should OP call Jenny out?
No, should Jenny have called the mother-in-law?
And said, this is getting really hostile.
Yeah. Miss Silvertear says, I think Jenny was being very unprofessional and wasn't doing her job correctly. If you are in customer service, these things you need to deal with correctly. Mother-in-law was annoying, but that's her job.
Yeah.
And then Martika Waterman says, yes, monster-in-law should have just left the situation. If OP talked to the fiance about this and he still didn't want to deal with it, then just leave. Yeah. So I think what do we have? We have yes. So far, everyone's saying yes, Jenny should call the mother-in-law out. Ooh, that is actually a great point, Titania. Someone should have called mother-in-law out, but not the wedding planner. That I think is a better point. I think someone should have stood up for her sooner.
Yeah.
I think it shouldn't have been on Jenny to call out the mother-in-law.
No.
I think that's a better point. Yeah.
It's so tough because I'm trying to think when someone actually has the strength and confidence to call out like their partner's parents.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
It's hard.
Really, really hard. Yeah. And I definitely had instances in the past where I had to tell someone, hey, that makes me uncomfortable, instead of telling the parent directly.
Absolutely.
It's really hard. So yeah, OP should have been like, hey, you know what? Like, I kind of just want to have this conversation about the cocktails just with Jenny, if that would be okay with you, you know? But that's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
No, it's absolutely really hard. But I think that, I think it's unfair. I guess what I am now realizing is I think that it's unfair that Jenny had to call it out.
The thing is, I don't know if she had to.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're asking, right?
Did she have to?
And who knows if OP and Jenny were talking outside of these conversations.
Yeah.
Maybe Jenny knew how frustrated OP was.
Maybe she
was like, you know what? You're doing this
hands.
to my girl. Stop.
You're done. You're done. Courtney Brady says, Jenny should/could have said it better. The way she said it from the way it's written was very awkward, which can make a situation much worse, especially in service. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I think that one way she could have, I think you kind of said it, of like, hey, I think this is, I think we're getting a little bit, like tensions are rising a little bit. Let's take a beat and we can come back and look at these later. Let's look at something else.
I wish I could talk. I wish that my conflict and resolution skills were like that good.
Yeah. Well, mine aren't. I guess I did a little bit of service, so partially I could do it. But
at the restaurant, I was pretty good because I worked in restaurants
But she is on the job, so this isn't even open. I'm saying Jenny could have said that. So if we are saying Jenny should have called it out, I still think maybe there was a way where she could have done it in a little bit of less direct way.
Yeah. Again, going back, what everybody's saying is that, oh, wait, what's that? The wedding planner is there for the bride and groom, not anyone else. If the mother-in-law is stepping on toes, the planner 100% can call it out. Yes, she should have called it out. OP is her client.
Mm-hmm.
That is
fair.
That is an
Fair.
interesting. Yeah, she's serving.
I've never had a wedding planner, so
She's-
maybe
yeah.
they do. Maybe they're supposed to
I
handle
want
annoying.
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like she's there for the bride and groom. You're right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That is a good point. Maybe it's like have you seen it like Say Yes to the Dress, where the people who are
a while ago. Yeah.
I had to watch a lot of those because
It's not about you guys.
Yeah, they would come in and they're like, guys, ladies, it's not about you. This is the bride's day, and you're acting horribly, and they like call them out. So maybe it's that level.
Yeah.
Which
Mm.
I'm leaning more into Jenny being in the right, but
Yeah.
I need more information.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, Jellybus says they can and will be the bad person.
Mm.
I proceeded to try and fail not to cry while Jenny apologized a million times and said she hopes we don't think she was an a-hole. She even said mother-in-law could have been stressed from only having one hearing aid and struggling to keep things straight, which is
Where's
fair.
the other hearing aid?
I think it wasn't working.
Okay.
I think she had it, but it wasn't functional.
Where is
it? Where is it?
Where is it?
Yeah. Which, again, like that is a frustrating thing to go through.
Yeah.
Jenny still tried to defend mother-in-law and explain her actions. Once I calmed down, the rest of the appointment went smoothly and we actually had a great time. Jenny is like the sister I never had, and my fiance was happy to give her advice. What is the fiance doing?
On what dirt bike?
On what dirt bike to get her 10-year-old?
Has fiance been in this?
Yeah, he's been there the whole time.
If my fiance and I were in a conversation and their parent was acting like that and I'm telling you,
Yeah.
and they didn't say anything, big red flag.
Big red flag.
Big red flag.
Yeah. So red. So red.
So red.
So red, so big.
So big.
The air felt different and so much better once mother-in-law left. Yeah. Maybe this is just the solution. They just shouldn't have been there.
Yeah. Let her play shuffleboard
Let
every
her play
day.
shuffleboard.
Every day. Just leave her.
The next day, she called my fiance and asked him to come over so she could talk to him. Just him.
Mm.
According to him, she insists that Jenny overreacted and was the one in the wrong. That the change was sudden and she had no idea things were tense. Everyone else certainly knew it. We kept exchanging looks and trying to move it along. She also told him I hurt her feelings when I shut down all of her suggestions. Just the candle thing and cocktail. And when I told her I don't really care for the drink that much, I didn't realize it meant that much to her. I don't know. I feel like it was pretty obvious that she was like obsessed with this drink.
I know. I want to know what drink it was.
She's like, it's so good.
I think if the cocktail was like that good, I would just let her have it.
Yeah, but OP said that she didn't really like it.
Oh,
She was like, it's okay. My mom pointed it out to me later, and I do feel bad for it. I did see it on her face when I put my foot down. I think this was the first time mother-in-law witnessed me take a stand and stick to my guns. I will apologize after she does. Am I wrong for refusing to apologize first / offer an olive branch? And there is an update. Which I think that sometimes... Can we have another poll, Riley? Yep. Can we do... who's the a-hole? OP? You do 3. Mother-in-law or everyone sucks here. Jess M says also, when it comes to a wedding, as a visitor, your suggestions do not need to be taken at all. This is true. Nay says, this is why I want to just elope and have a party afterwards.
Would be interesting to know who's paying for it.
That's true.
Right.
Because maybe if the mother-in-law or like the fiance's side is paying more, maybe she feels she's like, oh, I'm entitled to it.
Yeah. Which I don't love.
Yeah, I don't love. But maybe that's her reasoning.
Yeah.
Miss Silvertear says they were both the a-hole. They should not have invited her if they didn't want her input.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all true. This is true. Queen D says no one is an a-hole. Interesting. I think everyone was a little bit of the a-hole to different degrees. That's my thought. But if you disagree with me, you can say.
No. It's like not none of them were like terrible. Yeah. I think
this is not to the degree
the
of
most a-hole behavior. Maybe Jenny. That's what's coming to mind for me.
I think because of mother-in-law. But why?
Slamming on the hands, a-hole behavior. Yeah. That was, but I think, she felt attacked, felt like it was 2-on-1.
Yeah.
And was just trying to help, cares a lot. I think that's what happens is that when you're not open and clear about your emotions and people feel blindsided, then they're like, well, what do you
mean? You wanted me here. Yeah. No, I think in the end, but do you agree that everyone, or do you think Jenny? Like everyone made mistakes?
Everyone made mistakes.
I think everyone,
everyone made mistakes.
liberally.
Yeah.
I think it
Everyone
wasn't. I
made
think it wasn't
mistakes.
like end of the world a-hole. I think it was everyone was
Yeah.
making mistakes.
Just
Yeah.
next time, just be real.
Be
Just be
real
up
with her.
front. Just be up front.
Don't scoot around the bush.
And
There you go.
the big bush. And then
Don't scoot around. What's the phrase?
No, beat around.
beat around.
Scoot around.
I liked scoot around. Though. Don't scoot around the bush. Don't scoot around it. But what was I going to say? I think this is also where more open communication between OP and her fiance.
Agreed.
That's what we were missing.
Yeah. And little Trini Weeb says maybe she shouts because of her bad hearing. That's what I was thinking of.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah, which is the only
She
reason
thought it was a
at
little
first.
tap, not a big.
Yeah, maybe she was like, "Oh, damn, you don't want me here," and it was actually like, "Ah." Yeah, that's the only reason why I was thinking maybe the mother-in-law just wasn't realizing what she was doing in that situation.
And someone
But
was saying, maybe just mother-in-law is just oblivious, which OP
it
said.
seems like, it seems like she doesn't read those social cues. So,
Yeah.
which it can be hard when you're trying to have a conversation with someone who's not, especially with an outside person.
I would say, honestly, though, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I would have just given her the cocktail.
Fine, you can have it.
Name it after her. Name it something cute, make her feel. And then that way, you keep going with the wedding planning. Girl, I gave you the cocktail.
Yeah, you got it. What
I
are you
gave it
complaining
to
for?
you.
I think that I don't think OP is necessarily wrong, but I think I also would have done it just because I'm like, I don't even drink.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, you can
It's
have a cocktail.
Let her have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's get into this little update.
We're just scooting around the bush
We're
from now on.
scooting around the bush. She sent me a birthday card, April, in the mail saying, "I'm sorry for how things went down at the venue. I'm looking forward to a beautiful wedding day, but no actual admission of wrongdoing." Okay, kind of annoying. I'm still mad because I don't want to cause more waves before the wedding since it's in 2 months. But I still wonder, should I agree to have the drink she wanted at my wedding? It's not like it'll be the only drink there, but I question if it should be there at all. I think she should have it, but it's limited.
Yeah, or like off menu.
Yeah. She's like, no, it's there.
It's like a secret thing you have to ask the bartender for.
Exactly. This was about 1 month after the appointment in April. Total silence between us. We've been acting like we're over it and are letting it go for now, as long as she doesn't try to spin what happened or justify her behavior. I told my fiance I'm not going to let that fly and will call her out if she starts it. The appointment was in March and it's been 4 months. Am I dragging this out? I know she didn't actually take responsibility for her actions, but honestly, I'm not sure that'll ever change. If I feature the drink she wanted at the wedding, would that be an olive branch or a bulldozer? Should I let it go? And that is the end of that story.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah. Josephine Madolo Berquist says, now that's kind of an apology. Yeah, would you take that as an apology if you were sent that? I'm sorry of how things went down. Or would you expect more?
See, I would want more in person.
I think I would want more in person.
Yeah, because there's more there. Like, she's clearly hurt. She wants to be a part of this. Yeah. It's an apology, but it's not a super direct taking accountability.
I agree. I think that because we know from the beginning of the story, OP said that the mother-in-law were close.
Yeah.
So I think I would want that kind of direct, hey, because I think I just prefer apologies that are in person.
I'm sorry for overstepping.
Yeah. I think that would have been
a
little bit more.
I just really want this freaking cocktail.
I want this drink. You don't understand. It's so good. It's so good. Jan Digital says OP should just let it go. There are more important things for her to focus her time and energy on. Yeah, it's I guess it's like, this is gonna be your mother-in-law or
deal with it.
Yeah. So unfortunately, either you have to confront her now, or if you're not, then you kind of have to deal with it because
And also, I feel like it doesn't sound like. It's one thing if there's a track record of the mother-in-law really like meddling in the relationship.
Yeah.
But like you said, they had a good relationship. I think just the wedding planning, like we said, stressful.
Lena Covenant says that's a narcissist apology.
She did have some narcissistic tendencies, it sounded like. So
like she wanted a lot of the wedding to be about herself. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Heliana Bain says sometimes you need to talk it out to understand your fault in the matter. And maybe what OP needs for herself is to go to her mother-in-law and say, hey, like, I want to talk about this further.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I deserved a little bit more.
And that's what I was going to say too.
Scary.
We get so caught up in, well, they owe me an apology. I don't, it's like, if you want to talk to someone, talk to someone.
Yeah.
And if you feel sorry about something, or like maybe you don't, but you still, I've apologized so many times when I didn't really feel like I did something wrong. But
I've done the same thing because I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it.
It's not
worth it because I still, if it's my friend or something or a family member, like I still love them. So you know what? This is not the end. Yeah. I'm not gonna make this a big thing.
No.
Yeah. I agree. Sometimes.
Yeah. I hope the wedding was fun. I hope they all just got super drunk and loved each other really super
cocktails.
hard. Yeah.
I hope there was some shuffleboard going on.
Yeah.
But that is the end of that story. And now it's time for another story.
Nice.
For you to read another story.
Let's go. Hopefully this one isn't as sad. Am I the a-hole for getting angry at my mother-in-law for ruining my first-time mom experience? Yeah. How do you deal with a bad mother-in-law? So Material Active 5775 says, not sure if this is am I the a-hole or an off my chest, but yeah, here goes. The backstories. When my mother-in-law had my partner, she wouldn't allow any of her in-laws to meet the baby because my partner's granddad was a violent man when he was drunk. This does not sound like we're off to a good start.
I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I'm so sorry. I don't think this one is bad.
Yeah. Let's get some comedy up in here, guys. Fast forward to when she finally allowed them after years. Their Nana became their favorite person. She was a lovely woman. This is important to get an idea of her character. When I found out I was pregnant, there were issues with our housing, so we had to move in with one of our parents. We decided to move into my in-laws because they had always given us space and it seemed like the better option. They were happy to have us and I got on well with my in-laws. Okay, this is great. I gave birth to my first baby on the 13th of May. The birth was a positive one, but I still had minor complications and the healing process was a long one. However, I was discharged that same day because I thought healing at home would be better. I had made it clear I didn't really want any visitors for at least the first week, as private family time means a lot to me. However, since my in-laws would be meeting her when we got home, I thought I would get all the visits done within the first week so I could relax from there on. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Just allow people to pop by when they were free, and then I could have the second week to relax and spend time with my baby. The day I arrived back with my baby, my mother-in-law came straight to the door and wanted to hold her. Of course, I could see her excitement and gave her my baby. She then said to the baby, "Are you coming with grandma to meet my friends next Monday?"
What? She just brought her home.
She just brought her home. And
That's a fresh baby.
That's a fresh baby.
Fresh out of the womb.
Oh my gosh, grandma. Come on. Calm down, grandma.
Slow your roll, grandma.
Slow the roller. She was
Stop scooting around the bush, grandma.
She was basically asking if she could take the baby out to meet her friends who she had lunch with once a week. Firstly, baby is breastfed, so no.
Yeah.
Secondly, please give me some time to meet my baby first before you start showing her around like a toy.
Like, look, I got a new baby.
I know. It was all downhill from there. She then got angry because she wanted me to come to watch a rugby match that weekend, 4 days postpartum. Whoa.
4 days?
How are you asking someone 4 days postpartum to do anything?
They're like shuffleboard.
It's shuffleboard.
That's a pretty aggressive sport to watch after giving childbirth.
Yeah. Wow.
I've only seen in women's rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
All of it is hot, I feel like.
It is.
Big legs.
Yeah. They're so strong.
Yeah.
Australian football?
Oh, yeah.
Is that rugby?
It's
Well, they have
better than
rugby and then they have football.
Oh.
Australian football is
Yeah.
They've got both there.
Love it.
Yeah.
so good.
I'm gonna go home tonight and watch that. Light some candles. She wanted me to come to watch a rugby match that weekend to show off the baby, but I didn't feel up to it and I didn't really want to go. I went anyway because I'm a people pleaser. And to be honest, I was so hormonal, I thought I was probably being the irrational one.
Like, I want to see people get beat up.
Oh my God.
Please.
Oh my gosh. So I did everything she wanted me to do for a long time. I didn't trust my own judgments, knowing how hormonal I was. And when my mother-in-law gave birth, she had to stay in hospital for 10 days and complained that she had to go into
Aldi's on the way back.
Aldi's on the way back.
It's a grocery store.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this is in Australia, I think, actually.
Yeah,
Because
definitely
is a
not
pretty
here.
popular chain in Australia.
Yet she expected me to run around after her the day I gave birth. My mother-in-law never offered to help me with anything. Never offered to make me a drink, make me food, etc. Only ever put some of my clothes in the wash when she was putting a big wash in. I'm not going to help you with anything, but I'm doing some laundry. You want me to throw some of your clothes in? In terms of recovering again, never cared about how I was doing. And the closest thing she got to caring was asking me if I'd stopped bleeding yet. Wow.
Yikes. This mother-in-law sounds bad.
Yeah, very, very bad. Oh, that's so frustrating. I can't imagine having a kid and then people being on you.
You're like, give me the baby.
Yeah.
Get on me. Hand it over.
Every single week, she asked if she could take the baby to see her friends. The day I gave in and took the baby to meet her friends, the baby was sound asleep in her pram, and she spent the whole time standing over the pram trying to subtly wake her, shouting her name and shaking her hand.
Oh my God, this feels like, you know in Harry Potter in the first movie when Dudley, when he like taps the snake enclosure and he's like, move! You know what I'm talking about?
Like, why would I don't?
Okay.
Which, it's been a minute, guys. It's been a minute since I've seen that movie, but that is so frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, it's not a toy. It's a baby. Let it sleep.
That's terrible.
Come on.
Yeah. And Obi says, I didn't want to wake her knowing she would cry to be fed and it would mean her friends wouldn't get to see her at all.
Yeah.
My baby hadn't even met my friends at this point. What?
Yikes.
I'm currently 8 weeks postpartum, and for the full 8 weeks, she's had to hold the baby every single day. She follows me around the house and lingers when I'm trying to spend time with my baby and look after her, especially when baby needs mummy time and comfort from me.
Yeah.
Witching hour is a thing. She's never cleaned a nappy or helped with the difficult parts either. She refuses. See, that, at least I know that if I have kids, my mom will be down to help with all of that.
Yeah.
And to have someone who so wants to be
holding
the baby and
herself and everything except for actually helping you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's like she just sees this as like a doll.
I know.
That she can play with.
Yeah, she refuses. The times I let her hold my baby and baby starts to cry to be fed, she refuses to give her back and walks away from me when I come to get her.
She's like, no.
It's like a mini kidnapping of the baby. Another issue is she always talks to the baby rather than me.
Oh, Lord.
I love that.
Oh, my God.
She shouts the baby's name continuously as well as, "Are you coming to grandma?" until I give the baby to her. If she wants to spend the day with the baby, she'll ask the baby if she's going out with her rather than asking me if we're free. Okay. Can you imagine if someone did this with like your dog?
Yeah. Like, are you gonna let me walk you?
This does not seem, mother-in-law seems a little bit wacky.
Yup.
I get awkward not knowing if I need to reply for the baby or not. I've put boundaries in place that never get respected, and I just feel smothered and constantly on edge around the house.
Just for clarity, so the mother-in-law is currently staying with them?
They're staying with
the mother-in-law.
With the mother-in-law.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Never do that. Worried
if she's not going to help out with
no,
the baby. Whoa, wow.
I know. And once again, where is fiance?
Where is he?
We can never find them, guys. Worried she's going to come and start trying to take the baby away if she knows we're there or awake. And I've not been able to enjoy my firstborn. I've also felt unable to be firm and tell her it upsets me as I'm living under her roof. Her behaviors are even worse when my partner isn't around, which tells me she's aware of what she's doing. Okay, that's not good. Again, manipulative and just like...
she's gaslighting her. She's like, I never do this. What are you talking about?
Ooh. I've been told I should understand that she's just excited about having a granddaughter. But it's been 8 weeks now, and I still have no space to be with my baby without interruption. It rings alarm bells to me that she refused to let her in-laws meet her babies, and this is how she acts with mine. She even about my partner's Nana because she also wanted to bring her friends to meet the baby, and my mother-in-law wasn't happy about it. This is exactly what she did to me and still continues to do. There's so much more, but it's hard to fit it all into a single post.
Ooh.
I kind of just want some advice. And FYI, my partner is aware of this, and we're trying to buy our own house ASAP. Great. But unfortunately, these things take time.
Okay. So the issue is that they do need to stay with her financially, probably.
Yeah.
Which makes it really difficult.
Yeah. Again, I've never had a baby, but I can imagine it is just such a stressful and tiring experience. And to have someone on you
At
like
all times,
that.
Yeah. When you're trying to like spend those first
bonding and connecting.
Yeah. Those first weeks bonding.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No. And the question of this is, again, how do you deal with a bad mother-in-law? And I think that the fiance, her son, should be more active and saying, hey, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
But I think maybe if this is her behavior, maybe the only solution is they just have to wait until they move out, which sucks.
I know. Move out, but also, I think Beyonce needs to be like, hey.
Yeah.
You need to back off.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
I would, if you were maybe just saying like you need to help a little bit more if you want that time.
If you want the baby time.
Yeah. But put into
do the
hours.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just as has he set boundaries. They have not clarified that. It doesn't seem that way. It seems like he knows about her behavior, but yeah. It's tough because they can't, it doesn't seem like they can leave because they're saving up, which sucks.
Yeah.
When you're stuck in that situation. Yeah. Bummer.
Yeah, it's so hard. I have no idea if I'd be like not wanting my mom-in-law to be with the baby or being like, this is exhausting. Take it every second, you know?
Yeah. I guess it's the behavior. But it's like, it's not even relieving her of
exactly
that exhaustion or, relieving her of that, everything that she has to do for the baby. It's literally just taking her when it works for
convenient
the mother-in-law.
for her.
When it's convenient for her.
Yeah.
Kei Yokimori says the fiance needs to be more stern and throw a fit for his wife if it's not working. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brown Eyed Chick says it sounds like she only acts like that when he's not around, so it's hard to blame him. For sure, but I still think that he could go to her and say, hey, like my wife is a little bit uncomfortable about how, you're interacting with the baby.
Yeah.
If we could just, stop. I think you could still do that. But that's the end of that story. Snatch that back from you.
Yeah, I feel like that's the wild thing about like a long-term partner marriage is just like if you vibe with their parents or not.
Yeah, it's tough.
You marry the family too.
Yeah,
because
it's tough, especially because usually you don't meet your partner's parents right away.
No.
And
wait, when is he expected, or like how long is it in a relationship where you haven't met them in 6 months? That's a problem.
I think it varies.
It depends on where they
live in the same state
they live
as you.
I would go like
state.
I would go like 4 to 6 in the 4 to 6 months.
Yeah. If you haven't met them around
range,
Yeah.
But also
depends on the relationship with their parents too.
Yeah. And also some people decide to define relationships on a different timeline. I feel like some people, they'll date for a month and then they're like, we're together. And some people will be like, no, I need at least 6 months of dating.
Yeah.
And then they're why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
No, I agree. I agree.
What's funny?
Nothing.
Tell us about your personal life.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Oh, something's going on, guys.
Continue. I just get really red. We're fine.
I got pregnant before my sister-in-law, and now she's furious. We haven't had one of these in a while.
These are bangers.
I love these. This is the answer. How do you deal with high-maintenance family members? And it comes from Awkward Item 443. I, 26 female, have been with my boyfriend, 27 male, for 3 years now. He has an older brother, 31 male, who has a girlfriend, 30 female. A lot of characters.
Wow.
They've been together for 7 years, minus the 6-month breakup they had over the last summer. They're together a long time. Thus, a big enough breakup that she moved out of their house. They got back together just before Christmas. I have an amazing relationship with my boyfriend's family. I get along perfect with his parents, brothers, and even his grandparents. The sister-in-law is the only one in my family I can't seem to get along with. And I think OP puts sister-in-law in quote because they're not
yet
married yet.
Okay.
My mother-in-law has never liked her and always had a bad feeling about her, even more so after they got back together. My sister-in-law acts extremely jealous
of the way my boyfriend treats me. He always makes jokes that I get what I want. My boyfriend loves to spoil me, and we have a more traditional relationship where he is responsible for finances and I'm responsible for maintaining the home. Trad wife alert. Beer, beer, beer. Her boyfriend makes her split everything 50-50. She also copies me all the time now.
What? What does that mean?
It started with small things like trying to get the same shampoo and conditioner I use, buying my signature perfume scents. She's now made it a point to take on some of my hobbies she never showed interest in or even made fun of me for enjoying.
So you're making her a better person?
Yeah, this is crazy.
But it's a sister-in-law. Like, my thought at first was, oh, you want to get with OP's husband, but it's your sister-in-law, so OP's husband is the brother.
I'll be honest, I was texting for Sam's food when you said that, and I'm still going to be texting that.
He's fighting
now.
for Sam's food. I need some conspiracy theories right now in the chat.
Okay.
Conspiracy theory? Basically, it's just conspiracy theory, Sweet Home Alabama.
But it's the sister-in-law, right? No?
It's the sister-in-law. Why is she trying to copy?
Because she thinks let me be more
The
like
scent,
your sister.
the shampoo, the conditioner.
I mean, yeah, that's a good. Damn.
I read Reddit stories, John, for a living.
You freaking do, and you're just literally the greatest on earth. Guys, put hearts in the chat for Riley because he's the greatest producer anyone could ever ask for, and I love him! Okay. So now she likes reading, thrifting, collecting crystals, and is now interested in going to car meets that she used to hate. My boyfriend bought me a Lexus that he modified for our anniversary, and when she totaled her car, she got herself a Lexus that she wanted to make look and sound like mine.
Maybe she just likes her.
Maybe. Oh, this is nuts.
Oh, Trisha D, conspiracy theory. That was my other one. Sister-in-law husband is into OP. So she's like, why don't you be more like her? Why don't you have cool cars? Why don't you smell nice? Southern accent.
Dude, you crushed it. Yeah, dude, this is
whack, bro.
kind of insane. She even threw a fit over wanting to buy my stock wheels. For the most part, I can look past her actions and understand she clearly has some insecurity issues that she's dealing with. Jump to January, me and my boyfriend found out that I'm pregnant.
Yay!
It was unplanned and my IUD came out without me knowing, but we both knew we wanted children and we're so happy with the news. His parents were the first people we told and they were happy as this is their first grandchild.
Aww.
Once we got a few appointments in, we decided to start telling more family. We started with the older brother and his girlfriend. Brother-in-law was so happy for us. However, his girlfriend's reaction was giving me the dirtiest looks I've ever been on the receiving end of. Savage! Oh, that was funny. She then left to go drink alone at the bar at the bowling alley where we were at. Grow up! Grow up!
Not the bowling alley bar.
Come on, that's so sad. That's pathetic. She had an attitude all night and didn't say a single word to me besides bye as we left. The next day, she sent my boyfriend a long message apologizing. She told him about her struggle with endometriosis, which everyone knew about, and just turned the situation to be about her feelings in the moment of her being sad and angry. It's not her who's pregnant. That is very good context, and I could understand someone,
That's been trying.
I get feeling
wanting.
a lot of pain for that. I don't know that it's fair to take it out on someone, but I think like feeling that pain, and I can understand kind of being that. That is good context. I'm not evil. I feel for the girl, but the fact that she didn't apologize to me, the one she directed all her actions at, pissed me off. It was my final straw. A few days later, I guess she noticed. She reached out to my boyfriend again and requested I unblock her so she could also apologize to me. After reading what she had to say, I lost it again. I didn't hold back and told her how self-centered she has been, and I'm done playing into her victim mentality and making everything about her.
Ooh. Ooh.
It went back and forth for the day. Honestly, it felt good to just tell her off after years of dealing with her messy behavior. We say hi to each other at family dinner every Sunday, but nothing more for now. I want to take a quick pause in the story right here.
I don't know where this is coming from.
It seems like maybe there is everyone's the a-hole case here, possibly. I think it's like she's kind of she's like copied her over all these years. And now that, OP is pregnant and having a baby, she's kind of taking it out on her and being rude to her. But then OP is snapping back pretty hard. I believe she didn't apologize to her directly, I believe.
Yeah.
That she apologized instead to OP's boy. Yeah. The next day she sent my boyfriend a long message apologizing. So she was like, hey, why don't you just apologize to me directly? Like, why did you send a message to me through my boyfriend to apologize? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And we didn't get the actual message, the latest message, I believe, but.
And the boyfriend is his sister, right? Like they're related.
Let me.
Because that makes kind of sense. We need the whiteboard. Oh boy.
The breakdown is we have OP.
Okay.
We have
boyfriend. Sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Bro.
Jelly Bean the Turtle, the sister-in-law equals the girlfriend of OP's brother's brother. What?
Wait, say that again?
The girlfriend of OP's boyfriend's brother.
Yeah, the girlfriend.
So, a boyfriend's brother, girlfriend.
Yeah,
so OP's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, the brother-in-law's girlfriend.
So the boyfriend
it's like this.
is connected to the brother. So their two brothers and their girlfriends. Two brothers and their girlfriends. Got it. Oh gosh.
I think I'm close. Because
Let's see it.
None of the people are related to right?
Where'd the mother-in-law come from?
She was mentioned there somewhere.
Okay.
She was in there somewhere.
So OP and BF. So BF and sister. Okay.
All of these people are connected. All of these people are dating.
Yes.
The ones directly connected. This might be more confusing than it is helpful. So I'm going to put this down.
Yeah. Two brothers are dating two girls, and the girls are having issue.
Yeah, no one is related to OP.
Yeah, no.
That is what we know so far. Chat, please tell me if we're correct. Please. Okay, so fast forward about 3 months, and she texts me one morning asking about my pregnancy. I respond thinking maybe she's trying to come around and make an effort to be a decent human being after some self-reflecting. I should have known it was a turn to the conversation around to be about herself.
Of course.
She wanted me to be the first to know that she found out that she was pregnant that very morning. Revenge pregnancy? Spite baby? She also told me about every single vitamin she took, along with what she made brother-in-law take, and about all the tricks and tests she took leading up to the positive one.
Tips and tricks.
I feel like it's low-key like, look at all the things I'm doing. Are you doing it? Like, I'm better than you.
Your baby's going to be malnourished, and my baby's going to have a 401k, 720 credit score, and 6'5".
Yeah. 6'5", blue eyes, blonde, trust fund.
Exactly.
She told me not to tell everyone, but I blew up and told my boyfriend along with my mother-in-law. Everyone is pissed. They agree that it was wrong for her to reach out to me first, and it was weird of her to rush a pregnancy that she knows would be high risk.
Oh.
Right, because I believe she's going through IVF to,
gotcha.
help fertilize the baby, which puts the pregnancy at risk of not continuing to birth. They still just got back together too. What were they thinking bringing a child back into the mix? I totally forgot that they're still like pretty newly back together.
That's why.
Dang. And dude, I see this in the comments, but she did that. That was the final thing missing so she could be like OP.
This is crazy. Why is she going this far and why is she this jealous?
It's It is kind of terrifying. Naja says she's not fit to be a parent if she's being this petty. Trisha D said, I hope the baby doesn't come out 6'5" if she ever wants to walk again. Great point, Trisha. I mean, it would probably explode out of her stomach before she would even have the chance to attempt to deliver the baby. Oh my gosh.
Man, ICU baby trap.
Dude, ICU baby trap. That was. Oh, but dude, but she was going through the process to be fertilized for the baby. Go ahead.
Thank you, said this ICU baby trap. Thank you, Vix Mix. Here's the real thing. The sister, let's give her a name. What name?
Trisha.
Trisha. Sorry, Trisha. Trisha, the sister-in-law that is like being all wah, wants to impress the family.
Yeah.
The brothers have a mother, and the mother is going to give them a ring to give to one of them. So she's competing. She's going through all of this so she can get the ring. And they know that OP is in the lead, so she's trying to be just like OP, if not better, and do that.
Which is so crazy because it's like, okay, you want to be the B League version of OP. Yeah, of course OP is the A version of herself.
Yeah.
So she's still gonna win regardless. Like,
but she's trying to bring her down. Be like, I've done more. I put in the hours. I've ate the vitamins.
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
Yeah,
have you been putting the time in?
I eat twice the vitamins. You go make pottery. I make twice the pottery. You go get a Lexus. I get 2 Lexuses. Ooh. Couldn't afford a car, so named her daughter Alexis. Damn. So my mother-in-law has been planning my baby shower since we found out. I am due late September, and my shower is early August.
Because I'm in like September.
We will see. Maybe. The sister-in-law dropped a bomb at a family dinner last week that she's already sending her shower invites this week. She is planning a baby shower 2 weeks after mine, even though she is not due until the end of December. Bro, I was just about to say, well, it is 2 weeks later, but the fact that it's literally so far away from the birth.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is so weird, dude.
Now, sister-in-law is upset because my mother-in-law suggested that she wait until October or November to have her shower. Sister-in-law said she doesn't want to do that because people won't buy her as much around the holiday season.
October? What holidays are in October?
No. The mother-in-law was saying that she should move it to October or November.
Yeah, October's fine. November, I see your point. October?
Well, she wants to move it because that's
She's like, don't do October, November, because no one buy anything.
Yeah, it's like, people are not. You won't get less Christmas presents, like Christmas baby shower presents, because it's October. Like, what are you talking about? So now I'm up to speed. My biggest fear is her using my baby shower to announce to everyone that she is back and pregnant. Guys,
marketing campaign.
Guys, we have seen this many, many times. More times than I would care to count. And guys, you always say, oh my gosh, like, who would do that? That's crazy. Don't say, listen, many people would and have done do that.
They might even be in your family and is planning on doing it now.
They done diddly will ding dong do that. Okay. So just be ready. Jellybutt said, I would love to attend a Halloween baby shower. Fire! Halloween themed baby shower?
I don't know why, but I would dress up as a T-Rex.
You could have what if you're a T-Rex with like a pouch, a baby in like a T-Rex pouch?
Kangaroo.
Yeah, I know. You just make a pouch for it.
T-Rexes don't do that.
They do now.
That is not a marsupial, John.
It's a baby shower.
Get your marsupials right. I'll be a possum. I'll be a bat. I'll be a kangaroo. I'm not going to be a fake pretend marsupial T-Rex.
Baby shower.
I'll have him in a backpack on my back. But he's not a marsupial, John.
Have some imagination. That's all.
Platypus. No, I don't mess with my marsupials, John.
It's okay. I didn't know you were so passionate about them. I'll leave it alone.
This guy.
Now, my brother-in-law is calling my father-in-law, complaining that my mother-in-law is giving me all the attention and leaving sister-in-law out of her pregnancy. And isn't getting any attention from the family. How many take a shot every time I say in-law. Am I the a-hole for getting pregnant first. That's literally impossible to be the a-hole for getting pregnant at any time frame. I think maybe the question is more like, is OP kind of like how she's treating the sister-in-law with all this? Like, is she being too harsh? Yeah, I don't think so. I think that the sister-in-law, from everything we can see here, she has a pattern of behavior of like weirdly copying her and like trying to kind of make everything about her at a minimum and take the spotlight at a maximum. I don't think it's a unfounded fear that that she might announce during her baby shower, because like she has her baby shower, OP's, and then sister-in-law's like, hey guys, I'm pregnant too, hooray, let's celebrate me, and then like quote unquote steals people to her own baby shower in the next 2 weeks, like, hey, so here's my invites, I'll be passing them around. Like,
bro, imagine being like, oh, this girl's here. Oh man, now I have to go to her baby shower.
exactly. Yeah, and you can't dodge it.
Especially if you're the grandmother of these brothers. Can't be having favorites. You can't have favorites. Dude, okay, story time.
Ooh.
This almost happened to me.
Really?
Yeah. So
Tell me.
my mom was at a church and she announced the name that she was going to have me. And she was like, oh, his name's going to be Logan. I think I'd be fire Logan.
Your name?
Yeah. So then this woman came up to her and was like, oh my gosh, no way. I was going to name my kid Logan, because she was also pregnant at the time.
Right.
And then my mom found another name. She's like, oh, Cameron, I'm going to think about Cameron. And that same lady said, oh, I'm thinking about doing my kid's name as Cameron too. And then she like had another name or whatever. Then she found my name, Riley. She's like, I'm not going to tell that lady that.
Yeah.
So she told the lady was like, oh, so what are you going to name your kid? And she was like, Casper. She's like, oh, okay. So she basically like did that to her and
guys,
got my name.
W's, is your mom still in the chat?
I hope so.
W's in the chat for Riley's mom. Dude, Riley's mom is a legend.
Honestly, she really
Riley's
is.
mom is a legend.
I love her.
Dude, Mrs. Wilson for the freaking win. W's in the chat.
Yeah, but yeah, that almost happened to me, dude. That could be wild. Imagine being Logan and then having some dude I went to church with also being Logan, and then being competed against just like this. That would have been my life, John. Just an endless competition. Being
Honestly,
compared to.
I could not imagine. I'm glad that happened, because I couldn't imagine being anything other than.
Yeah, me too.
It is literally the perfect name for you.
Dude, thank you. Mom did that. My mom did a good job. And she
crushed
spelled it right.
Wow. Dude, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
No, you're not the a-hole for getting pregnant first.
Yeah, you're not the a-hole for getting pregnant first. That's a guarantee. And you know, I think from everything we saw here, she's like trying to steal the spotlight, do all these things. I think you're not the a-hole for wanting her to, like, you know, not try to steal the spotlight at your event, having it, you know, asking for the mother-in-law, asking her to move it. Maybe she clapped back kind of hard, you know, maybe she.
But she had to, bro. That girl was
Yeah.
riding her this whole time.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to just kind of.
What does J. Cole say? I listened to it last night. What does J. Cole say?
What does he say?
You know what he says?
Give me one time shame on you.
No, the other one. Get off my
Pee-pee.
Oh, get off my.
Pee-pee.
That's what she
Hey,
said.
that motherfucker, get off my.
Pee-pee.
Yeah, that's great. That's so funny. But yeah, that's the end of that story. By the
Dang.
way, we're live right now. So tap our profile. Do it.
Our Karen neighbor won't stop trespassing, so we reported her.
Reporter.
Reported.
Get her off your property.
I, female 24, moved into a new flat with my boyfriend, Nate, male 27, just over 2.5 months ago due to our old house being riddled with mold.
Oh, that's bad.
Riddled is not a good
She's
adjective for
fiddling
mold.
and you're riddling.
She's The area is so nice and quiet, and we have a lovely garden with a cozy, sheltered area and a nice size area that we're converting, so it's messy currently. By the way, this comes from Forest Gremlin 13 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. We have such a vision to make a fairy garden with lights and a pond with tiny mushrooms everywhere, and the vision will take time. However, the walkway is clear and everything is generally okay, which is relevant. We're in an upstairs flat with a back garden, while our neighbor, Karen, female 58, has a front and a back garden.
Okay.
Legally, she has access through our gardens during emergencies only, so we were told before we signed our contract with the estate agent. Fair enough, I can deal with that. What emergency will there be in Wales? Too much rain? So on with the story. So about 6 weeks ago, Nate and I were home one Saturday, and Karen came strolling through our garden without a care in the world. Thankfully, I was inside, as I sometimes have the rage of a dragon. Nate said he'd asked what she was doing, and she said she had right of access through our garden. He said that was only during emergencies, and she laughed at him and disagreed and said our garden must be clear for her to be able to come through. She then left, continuing with her day, leaving our gate open. The audacity of this woman already. Later in the afternoon, I caught her coming through our garden and leaving the gate open, so I popped out of the door and politely asked her to close it and put the bolt across when she came through. She seemed shocked to see me. Weeks go by, and we noticed dropped clothing having been picked up, which is that's kind of her, but why was she in our garden?
She's always in your garden.
Get out of our garden, Karen.
You have your own front and back garden.
We say nothing and are chatty when we see Karen. I tend to sneak off and leave Nate because I cannot be doing chatting for so blooming long. We notice old grass spread on our path from a lawnmower. We have no lawn, but say nothing, as we obviously don't expect her to take the lawnmower through her house. We're decent enough people most of the time. Nate and I both ride motorbikes, and they're precious to us, along with a lot of expensive tools. And not so long ago, someone stole my plant pots, but dumped my plants.
I bet it was the freaking Karen neighbor.
I bet this Karen was just like, I hate your plants.
They're so ugly. I just want the pots.
I'm taking the plants because they're gross. We decided to get security cameras for peace of mind when we're at work. We had a suspicion Karen was snooping in our garden due to the above, but today absolutely confirmed it. And I have such glee typing that. Around 10:25 a.m., Nate decided to turn the camera through his phone app, and minutes later, what does he see? Karen in our garden! Not only is she just walking through, she's feeling our rubbish. Full on fondle-dondle. Nate called me right away, but neither of us could view the near 2-minute long clip on the app. All day, I tried to view that clip, but it wouldn't load. The suspense was worth it, trust me. Nate and I got home around 5:30 p.m. and watched the video of our neighbor feeling our rubbish. She walks into the garden through her back gate and has a good nosy round to make sure our motorbikes were out, and she continues to look around, shaking her head like a tick in disgust at what she's seeing. She turns around and looks at our recycling bins and starts to feel the rubbish inside. A good old squish. And she keeps doing this, looking around the bags and then feeling again. She takes another long, hard look in absolute repulse before leaving. Nate and I were so mad. Our privacy in our garden was being invaded. But our rubbish? I tried calling 101, which is the non-emergency helpline for the police, but the wait was very long, so I tried my estate agents, but no joy there either. I decided to go and speak to Karen to see what she was doing. Nate was listening from the window above, and I went downstairs calmly. I knocked on the door, and I had in my hand a piece of paper with my name and number as well as Nate's. The look of anxiety in her face caught red-handed. The conversation went horrendously wrong. I asked if she could clarify why she was in the garden today, and she said she was looking at her electrical box. Granted, there are tomato plants and garden tools in front of it. If she had asked, we would have moved them. I asked her then, why was she feeling our bins? And she straight out lied and said she hadn't. I asked again and said I saw her do it as we have cameras. She admitted to just touching the bag. Just touching my butt! I said that I could see her feeling the can and trying to see what was in the rest of the bag. She became so defensive, and I said it was just a bit peculiar and I could help with anything. She said, well, you do a lot of peculiar things too. The look of anxiety and anger all at once in Karen's squished face. I asked, what peculiar things did I do? She avoided the question and blew up like Vesuvius. She said she knew what I was trying to do and to go away with my silly little notebook paper with my number. I tried to explain what it was for, So if she needed to come through and things were in the way, she could let us know and we would move them out of her way. But before I could finish my sentence, she started shouting at me to grow up and stop being silly, and then shut the door in my face. I posted the paper through her door, half worried she'd snap my fingers off. She didn't. I didn't know what to do, so I spoke to an officer at 101 and explained the situation. She offered to send an officer to speak to her if we felt that she was doing it to harass us. I kindly declined and thanked the officer for the advice. I felt sending an officer round was too drastic. I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, all she's doing
call.
is fondle-dondling.
I really don't know what to do next. Every little noise, I'm on edge that it's her in our garden again. Any advice? I spoke to the estate agents this morning and explained what had happened. They, person one, seemed distant to respond to what I said, if that makes sense. They admitted that the situation was strange. I sent them the footage like they asked and waited for a call back, and nearly 6 hours later, no call back. I was sidetracked all day and was fizzing inside at the thought of Karen's little mitts in our business yesterday. So I called the estate agents back again. They, again, a second person, seemed reluctant to say much. I got the feeling that they knew more than what they were saying. I explained the situation again to person two, and they just asked whether Karen owned the flat. After some searching online, there's not much on rental history, so it's looking like she's the owner. They said they were going to contact her family first and then go around to see Karen on Thursday, and then Lady 2 would come and visit Nate and I. I thought that was a bit odd because of GDPR reasons. Why would they go to her first before talking to her? After thinking and stewing on these events for a while, I started to think that the estate agents knew the previous tenants had experienced similar issues, and that's why they were distant to the topic at first. I'm now a sitting goose and will wait for further developments. Thank you all for the comments so far. They are very helpful, and we have a second update. So just to recap that first update, basically the best thing. I was working from home this afternoon and Karen paid me a visit wanting to talk. She was all smiley and full of life today, as if she hadn't rudely slammed the door in my face 2 days before. I said as plainly as a water cracker that I was working, literally talking to my manager on the phone, and she could come back later once Nate was home. She continued to talk to me, saying that she didn't know Nate and myself very well, nor did we know her very well, and that she wanted to clarify some things. Oh, we've got clarifications incoming.
We've got some conversation happening.
I repeated that she should come back later, and she asked why. I straight out said I didn't want to talk to her alone. She turned from smiles, sunshine, and rainbows to fairly serious then. She said she'd reported me to the council and advised I proceed further through the letting agents. I shouldn't have fueled the conversation, but I stooped did, telling her I'd already contacted the letting agents and they'd be coming to see her tomorrow, and that I'd called 101 non-emergency police for advice. Her face dropped. I wish we had a door cam too so I could replay her facial change. She didn't know what to say other than, "That was fast and efficient of me," before walking away saying there was no problem here.
That's so funny. She was like, "Okay, that was pretty efficient. I'll go."
She got outgamed.
You
She
won
literally
this
did.
battle, but you will not win the war.
Nate said that he'll go and see Karen once he's home from work. We're concerned as what she has reported us for. All we can think of is the occasional devil's letters for balancing my mental health. I have ADHD. Or the fact that we have had a bonfire for the last 2 nights. Well, we will find out, I'm sure. Update number 3.
Oh my goodness, what a tale this is.
Who do you? Let's just guess. Whose side gets taken here? OP or Karen's?
Because she owns the place, but also I do think that you have to give a certain amount of forewarning, at least in the US, forewarning to let people know when you're coming onto the property.
I'm guessing that the police take OP's side. It's been a few weeks, but today's interaction has fueled me. If you didn't see my previous post, it's in this feed. The last update I gave on the original post was that sauerkraut Karen from downstairs came to see me, wanting to talk, but I refused until Nate was home. Anyway, she didn't come back to see us. The estate agents still haven't been to see us either, as they're looking for her family. Very sus to me. Onwards with the story. For context, we have an outdoor fire every night that it's not raining. It rains a lot here, especially this year. The rear garden does not get any direct sunlight after 5:30 p.m. due to the tall trees blocking the sun as it goes down before sunset. A few days after the last encounter with Karen, it's a dry evening. Oddly, she put her washing out at 7:30 p.m., even though there was no sun. They wouldn't dry overnight. It's also odd as she is never outside at this time of night. And this is important. We left it until 8:30 p.m. and the washing was still outside. So Nate decided to go downstairs and let the crazy lady know we would be having a fire outside at 9:30 p.m. This gave her an hour to bring her clothes in. Nate knocked on the door, but no answer. He gave it a few minutes and knocked again. I was placed by the upstairs window listening, and she opened the door and Nate politely said, "Oh, hello. Just to let you know, we'll be having a fire at 9:30. She slammed the door in his face before he could even finish talking. Nate said her face became so screwed up and annoyed as soon as he said the word fire. We found the whole interaction so hilarious we couldn't help but laugh. After discussing with each other, Nate and I came to the conclusion that she'd put her washing out to stop us from having a fire. I'd been talking outside the day before about what constitutes as a statutory nuisance in regard to outdoor fires, and affecting neighbors' drying washing due to fires was in the list. Karen thought she was being clever by putting her washing out, but no, we will beat you with kindness. Since then, there's been no washing on the line after 5 p.m. A couple of weeks go by, and it brings us to today. I was leaving the flat this morning at 10 a.m. to go to Sally's. I bought hair dye yesterday from Tesco, but only one box had the cream color, so my hair is currently half neon orange and half bleached. I look my own state of crazy. As I was locking the gate to leave, I hear someone shout, "Oi!" And I turned to see Karen stood on her doorstep in her pajamas, looking like an old hen with ruffled feathers. She does not look happy. I reply with, "It's good morning, not oi," to which she shouts back, "It's oi to you." Before I could say anything back, she starts ranting about how I'd been doing something every day for the past 2 weeks, but she was shouting so much and so fast, I didn't really have any idea what she was on about. I tried to ask, but she slammed the door. Nate came running outside to see what was going on, and I explained the situation loudly, so if anyone was listening, they'd be sure to hear. Before I left, I asked Nate if he wanted anything from the shop, as I was going to find a bag of polite manners to post through her letterbox, as Karen had clearly lost hers. I'm not too sure what I've done every day for the past 2 weeks, but I look forward to finding out. We've informed the estate agents, but they probably won't do anything. I really do think that the estate agents know something about Karen they're not telling us as to why they would need to find her family before talking to her. In addition to this, the male neighbor from downstairs, who we'll call Terry, approached me after my first fire-breathing battle with Karen. Terry walked up to me as I was leaving for work in the morning and asked me what time I finish work these days. What a weird question to ask with no context. I politely said it varies on the day depending on the workload, which is true. Something else that is also true is that you can join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Tap
All
it.
you gotta do is tap it. My advice at this point, because now there's another guy getting into the mix here, asking you about when you go to work. Get all your ducks in a row and find out the exact rights that you have as a renter or a leaser, whatever you call it over there.
Exactly. And then, anytime you notice that she's breaking one of those, document it. Take it to the popo.
So Terry went on to say that the council were coming out about railings. I don't know why I needed to know that, but I did come home earlier than usual that day. It wasn't the council that came around to sort his railings. They had come with the police to raid my other neighbor's house after kicking the door in for the devil's lettuce. We think Karen, Terry, and a B word from number 13 had this plan with the police and didn't want either of us to know or see or wanted us to be affected, but needed to know what time we were home. I say this because I watched from the window for nearly 2 hours the police outside. One officer went to every house and flat on the estate with a flyer or leaflet of some sort, but not ours. I mean, every house and flat and not ours. And that is straight up. End of that story.
Damn, no. It ended with them being like
story ends,
the police?
Yeah, story ends with like, they are using the police to evict people in our place.
This is a whole
and
plot.
we have nothing else after that.
That I hope they're okay.
Yeah. Well, if you've got anything that they can evict you or arrest you for, get it out of there, because these people are plotting to come for you. I'm going to send this old lady to Fondle Dondle jail.
Old Karen coworker assaults me at work. This is OKOP, home to the craziest true stories on earth. I'm Sophia and Riley.
Fight back! Fight back!
That's all we have to say. So, Always Tired 24/7 says, "We will call my coworker Karen," as you should.
Yeah.
And let me preface this by saying that I am 21-year-old female and 19 weeks pregnant.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
She's throwing hands at a pregnant woman?
That is the worst person to throw hands with. A pregnant woman?
A pregnant woman?
She has the power of one and a half
19-year-old
people.
pregnant woman?
21-year-old.
Sorry, a 21-year-old pregnant woman with a 19-week-old pregnancy?
She has a power of 1.5 human beings.
That's yuck.
You're going down.
Karen is a 60-year-old woman with huge attitude problems, I figured. I work as a teller at a bank and have one run-in before now with this teller.
I have a okay story time.
Okay. I don't have hard evidence, but I believe this woman used confidential bank information a few months ago to make a false accusation to the cops for animal abuse at my home. What? Oh, like got the bank, like the address, maybe. Oh. When asked about it, she denied it and got angry with me and then involved multiple coworkers in it, even though the conversation happened outside of work, and lied about our whole conversation, saying I was accusing her and calling her a liar, which didn't happen. When brought to management's attention, I was reprimanded, not on paper, just verbal, and she walked away unscathed. I haven't spoken to her on this specific situation outside of the 1-minute phone call that I made to ask if she was the one that had made the accusation.
Wait.
So basically, OP called up the Karen because she thought Karen had called the police on her using her address that she got from like a bank information or something.
Yo, that's not cool.
Yeah. I'm wondering, like what OP had to back this up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like not to say that it isn't the Karen, but like I understand why.
But like out of all your coworkers, why her?
Well, no. Like specifically like why management wouldn't be able to do anything if they don't, if she doesn't have proof. If it was just like a gut feeling. She's like, I know it was her.
No, it's Karen.
Yeah.
Don't know why, but I just feel it.
I just feel it in my gut.
Well, I mean, her gut is pretty smart right now, or is forming to be smart.
What?
Because there's a baby in it. Oh.
The past week, I've worked every day in the drive-thru of our bank with this woman. Since that incident, I have been nothing but kind to her, heaping coals of fire, if you will. What? Coals of fire?
Yeah, like heaping coals of fire.
That
I
a
feel like I
saying?
should know what this is.
Heaping coals of fire. Like I understand the vibe of the saying. I don't understand the saying though.
King James version
Heaping
of
coals of
Proverbs.
fire, if you will. If thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For so doing thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward thee with good.
The theme here is not revenge, but repentance.
Oh, taking the high road.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a saying I've never heard before, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to use the thine version though.
Do it. Good luck working that into a conversation.
Oh, just watch me. But she's the kind of woman that if she's in a bad mood, anyone else who is in a good mood should go to hell.
Oh, I hate these people. Not hate, but I don't like them.
I don't like them. That's all I gotta tell you that. I've been working with her and one other girl the past 2 days. Yesterday, Karen got upset about 3 p.m. Decided not to join in the conversations, so the other girl, we'll call her Amy, and I ended up joking around and finishing the day with a laugh. Today was the same. She was salty all day, so we just didn't really give her extra attention outside of work-related things. At the end of the day, she got angry with me for not doing something that was actually her responsibility. It wasn't a big deal, and I said, sorry, I didn't realize it hadn't been done. Ooh, sassy. She came at me saying that she was tired of my attitude and lip that I've been giving her all week. I have literally walked on eggshells around this woman for 2 months because of how she twisted the whole animal abuse thing.
Yikes.
I tried walking into a different room to get away from her yelling at me, and my supervisor was standing in the room I walked in. Karen followed me in, yelling at me, and brought up the animal abuse situation, accused me of calling her a liar and treating her badly, giving her attitude over it. I told her I have never spoken to her about this at work and would not speak about it at work. If she wanted to talk about it, she could speak to our supervisor. I tried to walk past her back into the other room, and she put both hands on my chest and pushed me backwards.
Whoa. At work?
Now you're going to tussle. At work. In front of 2 people saw this happen, and one of them was my supervisor.
Yikes.
1, Karen, you need to choose your battles. 2, choose your place of battle.
And who you battle.
And who you battle.
You're all wrong.
all wrong. You don't know how to battle. My supervisor didn't do anything. What? But the other person did, Amy. She jumped in and told her she wasn't going to start acting like that while I backed away with my hands raised in a surrender position while she started yelling at Amy. I managed to get past her and grab my things, and as I was walking out, she was still yelling at Amy, so I turned around and yelled, "Hey!" And she aggressively replied, "What?" And I said, "If you ever effing put your hands on me again, it will not end well for you. Don't effing touch me again." OP did not come to play.
Dude, I can feel the mama bear.
Yeah. She's
out.
like, "Don't touch me or my baby." I see you, OP. You're doing great. And she tried to say that I shoved her hand away one time years ago while she was trying to do something. And I literally have no idea what she's talking about. What do you mean years ago?
Is that even possible? Also, years ago, like, remember that one time
when you were trying
this?
to move past me and you accidentally brushed your hand against me?
And then she's like, "I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to fight you now." Imagine holding that in for that long.
Well, it doesn't seem like she actually is. It seems like she's just trying to bring up anything that will make her look better.
Oh, yeah.
My supervisor did not get involved at any point. Fire the supervisor. The supervisor sucks.
Isn't that your job?
They're not doing anything. They're supposed to be well, maybe they're like, "My job is to supervise. I'm watching it happen." And that's it. My job is not to get involved. No, that's yikes. They should be fired for that. I left work and messaged my supervisor and branch manager and told them I want to speak with them and the bank president on Monday first thing and explain exactly what happened. But based off the conversation I already had on the phone with my branch manager, he made the comment of finding a way to work together. Work together with the Karen?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. The fact that they're not doing anything to like punish the Karen is wild. Yeah, this is not a safe workplace. What can I do outside of talking to my supervisors?
And there's an update.
Yeah, and there is an update, yes.
Okay, so fire her.
Yeah, well, she can't do anything because the supervisor and the branch manager won't do anything.
Well,
it seems like we don't know.
Why are they not wanting to do anything?
I don't understand. I don't understand it. Well, like why this Karen they're protecting her. I don't know. I think at this point, safety wise, you might have to. If they don't do anything and this continues to be a problem, you might have to leave. But you could also, I feel like you could also start a suit.
This is true.
This is like a physical thing that, of course, that's very expensive.
I'm just like shocked that the supervisor didn't do anything. Like get in there and be like, "Yo, you're out. Go take a walk."
Even if she hadn't laid her hands on OP, just the fact that she was screaming at her at work in front of people, that would have been enough. That's like a totally enough for like a, probation or something. But let's get into the update and see if the branch manager and the supervisor did anything at all.
I want to say they did the right thing and fired the Karen.
I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that they fired Karen and gave OP a raise.
They have to. It's on Reddit.
Well, we're about to find out. Today, I had a meeting with head of HR, the bank president, branch manager, supervisor, and Karen.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then herself. 6.
And then herself. Yeah, 6 people in this meeting. It's a lot of people. I had sent HR a very detailed description of everything that happened, named names, dropped times, everything I could remember thanks to some people's advice on my previous post.
Nice.
Good. They started off the conversation saying that both of us were very wrong. What? I was confused because the only thing I did wrong was cuss at her after she pushed me and told her if she put her hands on me again, it would be a problem. I don't consider that wrong, but whatever.
Yeah.
I don't consider that wrong either. Someone's attacking you.
Be like, "Hey, you're warning them."
Yeah, that's a warning. They let her have her say first. She told a lie from the beginning. Said I've been hateful and had an attitude towards her when she's only trying to help. That I have been aggressive to her and I bullied her. That I started it by shouldering into her while trying to walk past her after she tried to politely tell me she didn't appreciate my attitude. She said I hit her first, when in reality I never put my hands on her at all and had tried to leave the argument twice. Said our supervisor watched me do it. My supervisor didn't deny or agree to it.
Whoa.
You suck, man. Jesus. Karen said, she hit me and she came towards me again while she was mad. And I thought she was actually going to hit me because she's already pushed me once. So I put my hands up to stop her. My supervisor chimed in and said, I was just so shocked. I wasn't expecting anything like that, so I didn't know how to react. My jaw hit the floor.
Wait. No.
What?
No.
Wait, the supervisor is corroborating her side of the story?
You were there.
You were there. You saw it. This is something's going on.
Whoa.
There is some shady stuff going on here.
That is. Oh my gosh.
I'm bamboozled. Not only did this woman make up a completely different story, somehow my supervisor is on her side, even though she didn't see anything except for what actually happened.
You had a front row ticket to this, and now you're saying this
Literally.
BS?
She also made several other accusations, which were false to try and make it seem like I've tried to turn our coworkers against her. But that's also false.
Oh.
After she had her say, I had mine. Clap back.
You have to, but that's going to be so hard to clap back.
Yeah, when the
Whenever-
supervisor's on Karen's side.
Exactly.
Oh my God. I hope she gets Amy in on here because Amy also saw the whole thing go down.
And he was a real one.
Yeah. After she had her say, I had mine. I explained everything that happened in detail, exactly as I had before. Her story had a bunch of holes that no one even questioned, and she denied everything I said actually happened. They never came out and said they believe anyone over the other, but I know that Amy had told them something similar to what I had, the only difference being her POV, and they still took her side, I feel like. Still took Karen's side?
Yikes.
They didn't punish either of us, decided to put us on a 45-day watch, and if anything happens again between us, we could be put on probation or terminated.
Mm.
This is not the way to handle this.
Yeah, where are the cameras at?
Yeah. After our meeting together, they met with us separately. They asked me how I felt with how they handled the situation. Badly. I tried to look at it from their standpoint. They have two people saying two very different things. Both have people backing them up. It happened in a room that conveniently we don't have cameras in.
Oh.
They
But-
could, yeah.
But wait. What about the yelling and stuff?
Yeah, didn't anyone hear that?
Wasn't that in the camera? Because she tried to leave. Okay.
I don't know. They can only take us at our word. I tried to answer honestly and told them I don't know, and that I was glad they brought us both in together to hear what the other had to say, but that what she said happened did not happen. They just nodded. I feel like there's nothing else I can do. I want to tell them to pull the cameras from the other rooms to see if you can hear anything, as Riley said, but I feel like it's too late to bring that up. No, I think you can bring that up at any point.
Yeah.
It seems like your job is on the line now,
Yeah.
so I would bring it up.
And your safety. Well,
And your safety, yes. Absolutely.
But my thing
He's already
was-
been physical.
she tried to escape the confrontation
She tried
twice.
to leave. Yes.
Like, why don't you follow up that? Like,
Yeah.
watch that happen.
My family says I need to make a police report. I'm not sure what that would do besides causing more problems at work. I plan on finding another job and quitting because I don't appreciate being lied about and the truth not being sought correctly. Karen has been at the bank for 18 years. Should I file a police report? Should I let it go? She's blatantly lying. It seems like they're on her side because she's been at the bank for 18 years.
Yeah.
And OP's a lot younger. And so they're probably more willing to take Karen's side over hers.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can't, obviously this is just speculation, but sometimes businesses will be biased against pregnant women. They're like, oh, well, she's going to be, leaving anyway. So we can just like side with Karen because she'll be here, which is not to say that is what happened, but they might have, thought about that or something. Overall, they suck. To answer OP's question, I think that if OP's already like leaving or wants to quit, then I think once you find a job and like you're like the quitting is in motion, I think you could file a police report. I don't know. I'm all by myself here.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
The tricky part on the police report is that the supervisor said
said no. That's
but
true.
Amy was there, and if
Yeah.
you have other witnesses, then you should be good to go.
Yeah, but it seems like there was only 2 people in that room.
Yeah, and it was really shady how
Yeah.
one person. I'm just in awe.
I'm shocked that the supervisor
just did not do anything.
no.
and it was like, yeah, Karen's right.
Yeah, no, that's wild. She was like,
what do you have to gain from that?
No, I don't understand. I don't understand why they're all siding with Karen when she's like obviously causing problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think filing a police report would be very smart. I don't
Yeah.
know how realistic it would be to make it
Yeah.
happen,
Yeah.
but if you're continuing to work there and you're about to have
Yeah.
a kid,
yeah. No,
Yikes.
unsafe conditions.
oh, I do have an okay story time.
Oh, yes. Okay, tell your okay story time.
How many people do you know that works at a bank?
Personally,
Yeah, like a friend.
I don't think I
Family
know any
member.
people that work at the bank.
Well, I know like 2 people that work at banks. One of them's my aunt. She's a manager. And another one was a friend. The friend left, and my aunt does not really like her job because of all the drama that happens at like banks. I don't know why there's so much drama at these places, but they're like, I don't like working here because one, my aunt's like, I have to manage all these people getting upset over these little things. And a similar situation like this. And then my friend also said the same thing. It's just,
maybe it's the confined spaces.
Yeah.
They're trapped in those little things.
And money's the root of evil.
Yeah, they're surrounded by money all day. They're trapped behind a screen. They're forced to talk to people who are upset about their money. Doesn't seem like
an ideal working situation. But if you work at a bank,
do you
is
like
this common? Let me know.
Is there a lot of gossip at the bank?
Yeah. Are you spreading gossip?
Yeah. Are you the source of the gossip?
Who knows?
Am I the a-hole for being upset that my boyfriend missed our anniversary for his sister? And this is again to answer the question of what arguments are worth breaking up over. So Narc Return says, I really wanted to go overseas this year, but we decided not to as my boyfriend of almost 7 years wanted to save money, and I didn't feel comfortable traveling by myself. I was fine with this. His grandparents are traveling overseas to see relatives, and my boyfriend's older sister, 29, is also coming along with them. From my understanding, accommodation is covered for her. While on this trip, she had planned to spend 5 days traveling elsewhere. His sisters suffer from extreme anxiety and tend to be extremely selfish. I will not downplay her anxiety. She certainly does suffer with her mental health, but she's also very moody and brings her poor attitude onto everyone else. She also does have anxiety relating to flying, too.
Are you being over dramatic, or is this an actual condition?
Not even 48 hours into this trip, she has an anxiety attack and is mentally breaking down about being by herself in another country, even though she has her grandparents and another relative from our hometown. If I had to assume, the anxiety would be stemming from the anticipation of her traveling by herself for 5 days. Apparently, she's having a mental breakdown, didn't leave her hotel room, and the grandparents don't know what to do with her. My boyfriend's mom was speaking to his sister, and they came up with the solution that someone needs to fly over and be with her for the duration of the trip. They asked my boyfriend to go, and he originally said no for financial reasons. His mom was desperate and offered to pay for the whole trip for him, even though they can't technically afford it.
Ooh.
He said yes to this offer, as he feels no one else in the family would be able to do this. His sister's boyfriend can't miss work, and other members of the family have mental health problems and have people they need to care for, i.e. disabilities. He has the mindset that he is the only reliable one in his family that is in a position to drop everything and go. My problem is that in 1.5 days' notice, he is now overseas to accompany his sister on her trip that she organized and missing our 7-year anniversary. I tried to suggest if he could fly over there to get her and take her home if she's that anxious, but apparently she wants to finish the whole trip. I also suggested that maybe she could cancel her 5-day trip and stay with her grandparents the whole time. It appears that her knowing that he will be coming over is easing her anxiety, and she's left her hotel room and is doing things. I'm trying hard to understand the situation, but can't help but feel mad and upset that he is now going on the vacation that I wanted to go on, but didn't because he didn't want to go, and will miss our anniversary due to his sister's choices. She knows she has anxiety, yet she still puts herself in the situation and is expecting everyone else to fix it for her. She couldn't even give it 48 hours. He also made this decision without even consulting me, which makes me really upset. She hasn't actually reached out to him to say thank you for dropping his plans to help either. I low-key feel like this isn't really his problem. They also aren't very close. She constantly gets triggered by what he says, and she responds in a rude manner. I'm being insensitive to her anxiety and mental health issues, but I just don't get why her feelings matter before everyone else's. He isn't even that thrilled to go because it ruins his plans too. It's almost a month-long trip. And that is the end of that
I
story.
thought it was 5 days.
I thought it was 5 days too. Maybe he's only going for 5 days? I'm confused.
Oh, so it's like she's taking a mini trip within
I believe
the
so.
greater...
So she's visiting the grandparents, which is fine.
But then she's going to take like a little mini trip inside of it, and then she's like terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah. What say you, Sophia? You're a young traveling woman
with anxiety.
With anxiety. Whoa! It's the triple. Ding 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 ding.
Well, I mean, obviously, I think she has different anxiety than me, and maybe is maybe more severe.
Mhm.
One point I was gonna say, if it was just 5 days, and this is a 7-year anniversary, and he's going for his sister, I was gonna say I think you could probably postpone it a few
Some of the-
days because they did look through all of the other family members. It does seem like this is somewhat of a family emergency,
Yeah.
even though it is annoying.
Yeah.
And even though, the sister probably, like, it's annoying that he has to be the one to do that.
Yeah.
I do think he should have consulted her.
Definitely.
If it is more than 5 days, that is a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because how is he able to afford, like, what is he doing for a job? Can he just take off a month, or is he gonna have to quit his job and then find a new job when he's back? Like, what's
Yeah.
I'm guessing it would be for some portion for the 5 days, and the 5 days have probably already, if there's not like 3 or 4 days left, she's definitely at least probably close to the first day being over with him.
I think this happened before the 5-day trip.
Oh, it was an anticipate.
Yeah.
Right. That's when they said it.
She was anxious about it. Yeah.
Right, but then she was like, "Oh, now I still want to do it, especially since brother is coming with and whatnot."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, because there's this like tricky spot where it's like, and I guess there's other stories where it's like someone might be going through a issue with their mental health, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're entitled to like
other people's time yeah.
or like in other situations we've seen like to hurt other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When like one solution is not going on that trip. She's still on a trip. She's just not necessarily going on a solo one.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if I was the mom, I feel like I'd be like, "Hey, look, you took this trip. Do we know the mom ended up paying for Opie's boyfriend, the brother, to go out, right?"
Yes, but I believe is also paying for the sister. And Opie said she's not sure if she could afford that.
Yeah, so I think if I'm the mom, I'm like, hey, just don't. Maybe I'll pay for you to take like a 1-day trip first, just to like, I don't know, get a taste for it, and if that goes well, then I'll do it. But if something goes wrong with that, like I don't want to send you. I don't want to pay a bunch of money to torture you.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. And Jellybus says, "Is her brother her safe person?" We've learned that they're not really that close.
Yes.
So presumably no.
They did mention that they were not close, so I would also say presumably as well.
Yeah.
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 No. Yeah. I don't know. I
don't know. I feel like I understand why the brother is going, because the whole family said, "Hey, you need to be there to help your sister, and we're gonna pay for you to go."
I think maybe the reason we're like kind of having trouble with this was a very avoidable thing.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, if someone has like fear of crowds, for instance, and then they like go to a grocery store when it's empty and then like a crowd floods in, well, that person literally had no control in that specific situation. This was like, I am choosing to do something that terrifies me.
Yeah.
And heavily triggers my type of anxiety.
Yeah.
So I feel like that puts a lot of responsibility on her, to be honest. I
think in that case, I don't think you can ask someone to drop everything and, help you. I think it's like, props on her for being like, I want to try this, even though I get anxious. I want to do it.
That is a good point.
And then if it's become so debilitating that she can't do it, then it's like, okay, well, we're going to postpone that. I'm going to try that again next time.
Yeah, try again.
Yeah.
Could we try a 1-day trip where it's like, we don't have to fly anyone out. It's less money for the mom who's already footing the whole trip, and like.
Yeah. And a lot of people are saying take OP, but I think that isn't necessarily a option because they don't have it sounds like they didn't have the funds to necessarily support OP's boyfriend.
Yeah. And also like if OP's boyfriend, who's the brother, isn't that close with her, then probably OP is like even less way less close with her. Actually, it's like, I didn't grow up with you.
Yeah.
At least they have that in common, but.
Yeah. Elias Magic says OP can be disappointed that they'll be separated on their anniversary, but it's a red flag that she's not okay with him helping his own family. I think to me, the issue is in this story is the sister and maybe the family. I don't think that OP's boyfriend is the a-hole for doing this. If it is just 5 days.
The only thing that was a-hole
was not
communicating.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. But I think that a 7-year anniversary, you can postpone.
You can do it the next week. I guess, and OP didn't mention this, so I'm going to assume this is not the case. Unless there was like, they booked some crazy hotel, crazy experience with no refund. Like, let's say they dumped thousands of dollars that they cannot get back, and that's like serious money for them. That is a different story.
But I don't think that this is the boyfriend's fault.
Yeah, I don't think, and I really kind of empathize for the boyfriend, where it's like it kind of like fell on his shoulder. He doesn't,
and he said no. He said no at first too.
Yes, he did say no, and then when the mom was like,
kind
I'll
of
pay
like
for it.
pushed for him to do it.
Yes,
like how would you say if your family member said, "Hey, I need you to drop everything, go to your sister abroad"?
I would do it.
Well, yeah, I would probably do it right away, but also even one saying I can't financially do it, and then again for them to be like, "No, I'll pay for it." And so it's like you have nothing.
Yeah, there's
really,
yeah. So I get it from his perspective. I think ultimately I'm like kind of looking at the sister to be like, again, it is kind of like, if that was really her intention mindset of like, hey, let me go and like challenge myself, that is fantastic. But the just unfortunate truth is like, if you know that is going to cause burden on other people, just being aware of that and trying to plan with that in mind.
Yes,
for hopefully a better plan.
Yeah,
but
that's the end.
I didn't plan for that to be the end, but it's just Riley just gave us the story.
Cookie crumbles.
That is the way that the cookie crumbles down.
Indeed.
Guys, if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you, and
see you tomorrow.